Hello, everybody, and welcome to Weekly Wednesday Night Modern here at the Nerd Rage Gaming home store in Buffalo Grove, Illinois. We are bringing you the goods tonight, this return of brand new Modern. We played a little Magical Christmas Land a few weeks ago, and it is time to return. I'm Dominic Stryker alongside May. May, welcome back.
I'm here again. We're watching Snorlax Stall versus Bridge EX.
No, no, don't mention.
No, I think that's funny. So we got Dredge here, Faithless Looting. We saw that as Cat was summoning through the deck, there were Dark Amiibos and whatnot.
Oh, yes.
So,
Yeah, Cat on the left side is going to be playing Dredge with the Return of Faithless Looting, and then Komari, I know, is playing Goryo's.
Oh, is he? All right.
Yes, because the most clear indicator was going to the NRG chat. Hey, does anyone have a Gristle brand to borrow? And we see Faithless Looting on both sides. Kamari's turn number 1 is also going to be a Faithless Looting.
I feel like Kamari is about to discard this. What do you call it? This Atraxa that is in their opener.
Yup.
So.
And I do believe, so I got a quick glimpse while I was giving players a little pregame while they're looking at their hands. I think Kamari kept a loose one on the land count. So this Faithless Looting kind of has 2 jobs of dropping Atraxa and finding some lands.
Yeah.
And Kamari in the difficult decision of what land to fetch for, I think.
When the taps are red. Oh, getting a Surveil land after all this?
After all this?
Is Blood Crypt in their hand or something?
Oh, interesting. This is the hardest part. We'll have to see.
Rockets Theater.
As we experience Kamari's build together, the new iterations of Goryo's adding red in also feels like it incentivizes you to have the full domain package of playing Leyline Binding as your big piece of removal and adds additional enchantments for your Atraxa. So it'll be interesting to see if Kamari's trying to put that puzzle together while also putting his Reanimator puzzle together.
Oh, we don't need the land, so I guess we're good on Home Scout.
Yeah, Stinky
Let's
Watch.
go.
Creeping Chill trigger. All right, Kat, how displayed is this going to be for us? Perfect. So this is our very first turn 2 instance of the Return of Dredge and a Silver Smote Ghoul due to the life gain from the Creeping Chill coming in on end step. Yep, Kamari combining this Raucous Theater with the Hollowed Fountain in hand.
Oh, we've got to have Leyline Binding then, right?
Yes.
Right? Like, that's 4 right there.
That's 4 right there. In a perfectly played turn 2 Frog. But fun enough that I don't know if Kat's going to care about this Frog even a little.
I think the Frog is here just to discard Atraxa.
Yes.
Pretty sure.
Cat is playing a strat that might be able to ignore the Frog, but maybe not ignore an Atraxa.
Okay, so we're...
Quick blocks. 1 Grizzlebrand
Brand
down.
Grizzlebrand.
1 Atraxa down.
All right, then.
2 counters, absorbing, I believe, the 3/1 of the Silver Smote Ghoul.
Yep.
And now Kamari's also has a huge aggression on the backswing. Cat, Faithless Looting again. Look to be thumbing the Life from the Loam out of the graveyard.
Yeah, so we're gonna Dredge Loam
for the first draw.
Oh.
And would you look at that? A little thug for the second. And Cat finding the 3rd copy of Faithless Looting, which also means as they find land to start playing this game, Cat's finding the resources to Faithless Looting once again as well.
So, we're just going to discard?
Well, that's those aren't the discards from the Faithless Looting?
Oh, maybe, yeah. I guess there's a discard to the Faithless Looting, but we're also ending our turn.
Yeah, Cat ended just the 1 land, passed it back once again, which might be Kamari's saving grace of trying to get a mana advantage on the Dredge deck. Because I guess Cat can't dig for lands if you're also dredging, because you're not actually adding any cards for yourself. As Kamari...
Did we discard 3 cards to Faithless Looting? Oh, okay.
But also, importantly, Kamari discarding a Triumph, showcasing to us access to a full domain mana base. I believe a Ketria Triumph to go alongside Godless Shrine to fully unlock domain. But Kamari taking it a little slowly right now. I say as a giant frog comes in, but
yeah, I mean we get the frog coming in.
Yes.
We got the Chainsaw Man Mountain.
Yes.
That's good.
Another
Creeping Chill.
Yeah, Creeping Chill and a Narcomoeba.
And Kamari's hand, what we know, Force of Negation, and that's it right now.
Which I think might be important, as Cat is showing, I think possibly 2 copies of Conflagrate in the graveyard right now, and a Ghoul.
We're going to 10.
That is kind of returning. I think Cat just making sure to do things at the proper timing of, looks like Kamari's trying to fetch on end step as well.
Yep. Meticulous Archive.
This archive's so meticulous. One of my favorite things was playing this Goryo's deck and just playing 4 Surveil lands and just having so many turns of just weaving these into your mana, completing domain, milling over your Atraxa. or a polluted
or
delta,
polluted delta.
which we know Kamari hasn't needed lands, has discarded quite a few as we've gone through this process.
Now, is this frog on blocking duty? If you're at 10, oh, never mind. Never mind.
You are not at 10 anymore, Kamari.
Yep.
One of my favorite tricks, I love resolving an Atraxa, but also I love when you have a frog in play and getting a Grizzlebrand, and then drawing the 7 and throwing them all into
yeah,
the
and you throw
frog.
them all into the frog.
Yes. There's Kamari here resolving this Atraxa, grabbing a Solitude, a Leyline Binding, a Polluted Delta, and an Ephemerate. Perfect.
Okay, well, that's. I don't know that Dredge has a lot to say about this.
No. Because Kamari can also drop any excess cards in hand into the Psychic Frog.
And we're ephemerating the Atraxa.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Frog deals damage. Kamari draws a quick card for that. Here's the Ephemerate. There's the Atraxa. Trigger once again. Yeah, this is my favorite part about playing the Domain package is this deck was severely lacking in enchantments, and now having Leyline Binding as finds off your Atraxas is really nice for Kamari. And the deck lacked in sorcery, so Faithless Looting also filling a gap.
I feel like you just take any 5 random cards. Just take whatever. Discard a bunch to Frog.
Just take Force Blue card.
Yep, Force Blue card. You already have another Force, so you've got Force.
Oh. But if any deck can kind of start ignoring the pile,
that's true.
It's going to be Dredge, maybe.
Right. So we're just going to sculpt our perfect 7, make the frog big.
Yeah, feed the frog. Feed it. Toss all the extras.
Solitude the Ghoul?
Solitude the Ghoul.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, why not is correct, right?
I mean, you're definitely getting the most out of your cards here.
Could Dredge play Frog? Just thinking out loud.
We discarded the hand size? Surely we didn't discard the hand size. I guess we did.
Who is we?
Um.
This must be a cathartic reunion.
Yep. Goodbye.
Important though for Cat is the discard is the additional cost, which means Cat does still have the advantage of putting those cards into the graveyard, but just not drawing the cards from the reunion proper.
No, that's a good point.
So Cat doesn't get to mill, say, 15 additional cards to Dredge, but at least gets those cards out of hand and into yard. And that is Cat finding the second land on turn 4.5-ish here as Kamari gets their 4th land.
Yep. So we can cast the oh my gosh, the Life from the Loam if they feel like.
Yes, right. If Cat is interested in Life from the Loam to start making land drops, the main glaring big problem is exactly these 2 cards just coming in over and over and over.
Yeah, that's 11.
Yeah, Kamari with a big ol' hand. The question is how long do we hold on to that hand versus turning it into damage? And here's Stinky. 3, 4, 5.
Conflagrate. Not enough.
In a hand for Cat, I think of around 4 or 5 cards. Oh, okay,
5,
a little more.
6 maybe. So we're.
Oh, I think Cat's gonna try to go for a big reunion again. At 8 points of life, kind of lethal-ish in play, but 2 chills in the deck for Cat. And it's reunion, discarding the 2 dredges and the second Force, and that's the game. Big scoop him up. Kamari on the backbone of 2 forces and maybe Cat missing a land or 2 gets to take down game number 1 for Goryo's here in the Faithless Looting graveyard-based battle.
Yes, it's a mirror match basically.
I think they might share 4 cards plus fetch lands, but don't quote me there.
No, you're right. Well, so, we're stretching the definition of mirror match.
What is a mirror?
What is a mirror?
What is a mirror?
Well, this is like when you take all the Tamir decks from Modern a couple of years ago and you break them all into different. So.
And we get to play the fun game for Cat here of what does sideboarding with your Dredge deck look like?
Conflagrate out.
That's what we're seeing right here. Yeah, we get to kind of get this nice, perfect overhead view of Cat on just enough of an angle to showcase to us what's coming out.
Oh, Dark Blast out? That makes sense.
Yeah, I can't. The target is -1 to your Philology, -1 to your Frog, -1 to your Grizzlebrand. Forget about it.
Dredge 3.
We're looking at a Goryo's Vengeance list here. Is this Kamari's or is this stock? This is stock beautiful Goryo's Vengeance. Some options that Kamari will have access to is things like Subtleties to Fairy Time Raveler, Cling to Dust, Consign to Memory, Surgical, Force of Negation, Toxic Deluge, and Spell Bomb. You'd take your Graveyard Hate, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's certainly a ton of options here. You got your spell bombs, you got surgical, you got cling. You might even want deluge, probably not, but you certainly could bring it in. Um, what
Yep.
are you trimming here? You trim your Tamios maybe and your emperors.
Well, Emperors get to act as Graveyard Hate, right? So if you put an Emperor in play, you can technically use it to exile a Stinkweed from the graveyard or other pieces
Oh,
and
you
target your opponent's graveyard.
interesting. Okay,
So Kamari has access to, if the bones are there, of just putting a 2-drop in play that can slowly eat the graveyard.
interesting. Okay.
Otherwise, what we can have happen is, I mean, let's talk about sideboarding. Let's take out the bad cards. Let's put in good cards, right? But I imagine you're kind of on the right track of picking these Tamios, and then I have found myself to just trim some number of your more expensive loot-based cards, and possibly even the leyline bindings. We saw they're kind of the top of the curve in this permanent-based removal. But what permanence does Cat have for you to remove?
I guess that's a good point. Yeah, because you're not really going to be winning a 1-for-1 battle here. Um, so you bring it, because you trim your leyline bindings that attack the board for cards that attack the graveyard. That makes sense.
Right, yeah. We'll remove all the board removal, bring in that Graveyard Hate, and we'll just hope that Dredge gives up on us.
Yeah.
Look at it. Look at this beautiful view. Look at this Champs mat. We swapped over to this playmat a couple months. I mean, so many months ago it feels at this point. Oh my gosh, back when the league started, and look at this beautiful just display. Still sponsored by Ultimate Guard. Forget about it. We even got the sleeve battle, the blue versus red. Everything here. This is a classic.
This is a classic.
For those who don't know, Kamari recently competed in NRG Champs a few weeks ago on the team that won the team event, Kamari in the Legacy seat. And Cat, an old school grinder here from the NRG home store, making a triumphant return because Modern's fun? Because Modern's fun again?
Modern fun.
Because Modern fun.
I do think it's really fun. This is not present in either one of these decks, but I really like how the Oculus deck got better after they introduced a bunch of new cards, and they only play old cards. They're like,
great.
you know what? Faithless Looting, not good enough for my Unearthed deck.
Just put your blue and black cards
Just
together
blue
and
and
you can
black
just win
cards.
games of Magic.
Yeah.
Kamari's deck is
Is-
the biggest blue-black deck.
Is Dimir the best deck in every format right now?
That is a dangerous question.
Oh, that's true. It lost the GP. You're right. It lost the GP.
We all lose the ley lines, though. That's how the world works.
Yeah, the best of one Stomper won the GP.
Yes, right? So many people sharing their deck list photos, but it like blurring out the ley line of residence. They're like, it's because of best of one, but I swear I can play it.
But yeah, Dimir quite good in every format right now. Cat thinking about the 6?
Yeah. Cat, known for playing decks like this that are circumventing power of every card
Oh.
for power of the whole, right? Of these decks that when you put all the right pieces together look utterly unstoppable. Kamari, I would say the Goryo's deck is as close as you can get to it, just like oops all good cards with a splash of Reanimator. Whereas the Dredge deck is every single card needs to hum and churn together, which means Kamari's deck is a deck that can sometimes feel defined by the game actions you take and by like the cards that you draw. Whereas Dredge is sometimes a deck defined by the opening hand, right? Of like,
Right, yeah.
this is what I have to work with and this is the plan. So I can imagine it's a deck that may mulligan more frequently because it's looking for a plan versus just looking for good cards.
I wish I could have heard whatever those players said.
That boisterous laughter.
Laugh that we can hear through the door even.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how to break it to you, but both of these players are wonderful people. And
They
they're
are.
very kind and funny and haha and hee hee. So the void for Cat Miller, John.
That's got to be. That's probably good.
So I don't believe Cat would factor those into the mulligan decisions because again, looking for a plan with this deck. But it's not going to hurt.
But it's not
with
going to
keeping
hurt, yeah.
because if this 5 is just like land cathartic leyline, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, and we got a Thoughtseize in there too. I don't know if we kept it, but we got it.
Bing. Oh, and a gemstone
kept
mine returns. Okay, put 3 counters on that. Remove them. Okay. Quick take of the force.
Yeah, it makes sense. Take the interactive spell. Because you don't really care about faithless looting
Mm.
at this point. You're like, yeah, put your Gristlebrands into the exile zone.
Can I point something very important? Raucous Theater does not cast this Faithless Mending even a little.
No, it sure doesn't.
Specifically drawing the Mending and not a Tainted Indulgence mean this Raucous Theater does not help tap for mana. So that means this theater's job is going to be Faithless Looting. And speaking of looting, Cat's off to the races. Dropping a land and a Stinky. Sorry, and a Stinkweed Imp.
I don't know how I feel about the phrasing dropping a stinky. I'm
putting
real.
a Stinkweed Imp into the graveyard and
the
a surgical
card was surgical.
Hey, Kamari, good draw for the turn.
Yeah, excellent draw for the turn.
So this is going to remove the Stinkweed Imps, which are the largest dredge amount currently available to the modern format. The longer you've been around, some have seen the Dredge 6. Everyone's heard the tales of the Grave Troll being banned, removed, and then banned once again. I believe the only double ban.
Can we unban it and then ban it a third time, you think?
I don't. Well, let's pick something else. But the removal of the Stinkweed means Cat only has Dredge 4s from the Thugs and Dredge 3s from the Life of the Loam. So really removing a lot of the overall power and that churn and velocity from the deck. And Falaji picking up Gorios, that's what she does best.
So we got the Gorios, we got a Gristlebrand.
And Kamari is most likely going to try to use his Faithless Looting next turn to turn into land plus pitch Grizzlebrand and go to work.
You can't pitch Gristlebrand, the ley line.
So you can't. So there's a bad card to have in hand. Grizzlebrand is a bad card to have in hand. You don't even have Grief to pitch it to anymore. It's just an 8-mana Grizzlebrand.
Just an 8-mana Gristlebrand. You almost. I mean, no, you don't want the. Put the counter on your Falaji. 16 turn.
Interesting.
Clock.
Chat also thinking maybe you should have taken the Ephemerate. I think the problem is Kamari can't cast the Ephemerate, but you can't really cast the Gorios either.
Oh yeah, you are not casting the Ephemerate so long as you have Raucous Theater and no Hallowed Fountain.
Right. So Kamari, I think a little bit rock and hard place of uncastable card and card of no effect. And Kamari playing in such a way that maybe there is an out that we aren't aware of. Maybe kept those leyline bindings and can answer the leyline eventually. Here's the Faithless Looting. Uh-oh.
Atraxa something?
Now Atraxa Eglise, yep. Those Grizzlebrands are quickly gone to the yard.
Goodbye, Grizzlebrand.
Atraxa Eglise pitches to Force, pitches to Solitude, pitches to Subtlety if they came in for some reason, right? There's at least things you can do with a loose Atraxa.
Okay, we sent the message. We attacked the 0.
And the Golgari Thug is going to have enough time to start going to work. You know, only a Dredge 4, but Dredge 4 is still enough to start getting the engine going.
Yeah, we're getting somewhere.
Now, Cat's hand of Thug and Narcomoeba. I think Cat's going to cast just one flyer.
Cast a 1/1.
Oh, 1/1 flyer. Here it comes. Oh, here it comes. Yes.
All right, 20 turn clock. The race is on.
We're at 16. Yeah, forget about it. Falaji block who? No. Okay, come on. You can't make that joke twice. Yeah. Here's the second Thug. Revealing. Second ley line. Silver Smoke. Land. And a Life from the Loam.
Life from the Loam's good here. That's a card. No, we can't cast it.
Yeah, can't cast that one either.
Man. We're not casting any spells in our
modern players. What happened to your greedy mana bases? What is this?
No Blood Moon, and you still can't cast your spells.
Oh boy! Oh.
Yep, we're attacking for 1.
Gotta do what you gotta do. Kamari not happy with that draw at all.
We are going nowhere fast.
Well, that was a draw past that quickly. Another Narcomoeba coming in and Life from the Loam into hand for Cat.
Oh, and we have a we have the what's his name? Yeah, the Amalgam.
And the Amalgam, which will whoop. Conflagrate, discarding 3 to deal 3, get the Falaji out of the way. Cat also doubling the clock and bringing out the prize Amalgam. This is now 5 damage in play.
Oh, there we go. Now we can cast Ephemerate.
Say goodbye to that Atraxa. Smart.
Yeah, don't want to draw that.
Okay, another Thug for Cat. 1, a 2, a 3, a 4. Faithless Looting hitting the bin, also important. And coming in again, big 5 points of damage, bringing Kamari down to 9. A quick 2-turn clock happening here. I think Kamari asking about the ghoul not currently triggered due to no life gain having happened so far.
Yeah, it's creeping chill. Yeah, player 1/1.
What else is it doing? And Cat can't draw Cathartic. Cathartic needs 2 cards to discard. So that means Cat is still 2 turns away, so might as well play the Thug out.
This, like, solituding the Amalgam here really kills the whole clock, doesn't it?
Yes. Also, it kind of
no,
shows.
we can cast the Ephemerate. No, we didn't pick up the
Oh.
Ephemerate.
Had one
No,
anyways.
we always had an Ephemerate.
Which then gets the answer to the Thug, which puts a Dredge creature not into the graveyard. And now leaves the Solitude in play. Solitude, notably not a flyer, but is a lifelinker, which still invalidates Cat's clock.
What a game. Modern.
Modern. Now, Cat
Oh,
still wouldn't be able to conflagrate because a creeping chill trigger,
Yep.
another Narcomoeba, and the Silver Smoke
and
have a
Silver
delay.
Smoke Ghoul, yeah.
And Cat is going to be able to bank this card in hand and the card drawn from next turn if there's a second conflagrate to cash in.
I don't think there is. I think there's only one. You could mill one with your life from the loan next turn, potentially.
Yes, okay, options.
But we're swinging Kamari to 3.
Well, we just got one of these Narcomoebas, right?
We're
So
also known as 4.
everyone knows this. 3, also known as 4.
Yeah.
But 2 damage in, bringing Kamari 2/4, does make future conflagrates live. I think we have 1 or 2 chills left for Cat as well.
We
That might have been the first chill. 3 chills in the deck still?
3 chills in the deck, yeah. We didn't attack with the Narcomoebas. Oh, in case we wanted to. Oh,
A lot's happening.
game actions are taking.
That was another chill.
Wait,
Kamari to
did
3.
Kamari just die though?
Uh,
Because now Kamari ephemerated the Solitude. Oh,
Deluge?
Deluge
For
one.
1? Wowzers. Narcomoebas, no.
Nope. Hey, hold on.
Oh?
Yeah, okay. They figured it out. That does not have haste. It was ephemerated.
Smart.
So here we
now
go.
here comes the Golgari Thug.
Creeping chill for the win.
Yeah, Cat. What Cat wants chill or to melee conflagrate because Cat will have a second card in hand.
Yep.
Help. 1,
2,
3. They found the reunions and the chill. Pew, 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 pew. Hey, folks, you get a game number 3. Oh, jeez. Okay. This is one of those games where you ever sit down against an opponent and realize about in turn 2 of the game, they need to fully rewire your brain to care about something different.
Yes.
That is playing against Dredge, right? Of like rethinking everything about what you're trying to do, what your cards are trying to do. And Cat did mulligan down and then spike a ley line, and I think that was a big piece of helping that fight back. And here we see a Dredge list. All of it basically looks like cards that we've seen outside of. I don't think we saw Wonder, but I would love to see a Wonder.
I would love to see Wonder.
And I believe Cat, instead of the Otherworldly Gaze, is playing the 1-mana mill 5. Tome Scour. Oh, I was just saying this. Look who's in the sideboard. Psychic Frog, Bloodmaw, and then an 8 Leyline. Call Goblin Ringleader Jack. There's 8 Leylines in the sideboard of this Dredge deck. And those are the good 8, right? Of your 4 Voids and 4 Sanctity. We saw the Cat brought in Leyline of the Voids and a few other cards. Remember from our overhead view of the last sideboarding session, we saw Cat taking out Dark Blast and was it some numbers of the conflagrates? Maybe that's why we found less of them in that game
this
there.
one only has 1 conflagrate.
And some Oxes. I'm kind of ignoring the Oxes.
They probably I didn't see any Oxen, so they took out the Dark Blasts, and I feel like they did take out something else, and now I can't remember what it was or what it would be. I have a very poor short-term memory.
Right. And thinking about the deck as a whole, your options are Dark Blast, Cathartic Reunion, Tome Scour, or Conflagrate, right? There's not a lot of options of things to actually cut.
Oh, I think they did take out Tome Scours. That sounds right.
Okay, right? And I wonder if being on the draw, is that time to bring Tome Scour back because you just need a turbo because you're a turn behind?
I think that makes a lot of sense, yeah.
It's the hardest part of Magic is rethinking play draw. right? I feel like I'm getting a lot of this experience with Demir and Standard of like understanding that your entire game plan is different,
It's
whether
completely
you're the player
different.
of the draw.
It's like those decks that have a land in their sideboard
Oh,
that's not one of the channel lands where they're
mm.
like, well, if I'm in the play versus draw, sometimes I want the extra land.
I
I'm
have a
like,
I have a land in my sideboard, and it's typically after sideboarding, and I just trim one when I don't know what else to do, like a commander player choosing their 100th card.
oh yeah, okay, that makes sense. When possible, my 100th card is the wolf from the original Innistrad that with Soulbound, and it gives it and something else +4/+4.
Wolfir Silverheart.
Wolfir Silverheart.
Hopefully getting full art in upcoming Innistrad Remastered, that if you're looking to purchase, you could purchase it at nerdragegaming.com. Pre-orders will probably be available soon, if not already, but it's coming soon, folks. Mark Rosewater officially announced that the amount of card releases this year has been decreased by 2 from previous years. It was 9 in the past. This year is our 6 main sets and Innistrad Remastered. That's our 7, which means we know basically everything. And Innistrad Remastered is here before you know it with Full Art Young Wolf.
Full art Young Wolf. And
Yeah, that those who know Chris Smith, fellow friend of the NRG series, and I've been waiting for some Full Art Young Wolves, and they gave one as just a picturesque painting of a wolf.
I like the movie poster prints too. Like the Avacyn they showed off today looks really, really cool. And the Gristlebrand.
The Gitrog is so funny.
The Gitrog, yeah.
And I'm a big fan of the Through the Breach. I've been looking to buy that card for a while, and they made a really cool, pretty one. And Cat, how dare you?
How dare you?
Mulda 6, Leyline of the Void is here. But Kamari knows that they're in the deck, which means if Kamari was trimming Leyline Binding or
no,
other,
drew a second Leyline. That's not what you like to see.
Cat at least has discard outlets, right? So
No,
hopefully Cathartic Reunion can get rid of this.
No, you're right. It's a little less painful.
And I'm seeing Tome Scour is in the deck, at least one as Cat was strolling through there. And I wonder, so Kamari could have Leyline Bindings, Leyline Binding, Leyline Binding. Really the only card I can think of for this Leyline of the Void. Big mill there for Cat, Confligate, and a Life from the Loam. Can you imagine if Dredge played Snapcaster Mage? March. Yes, I was just talking with our local Hammer player, debating on some sideboard cards. I said March of Otherworldly Light is one of my favorite sideboard cards for the modern format. Just having this pseudo pitch extra cards on top of it being X, on top of it killing things like Saga and otherwise. And Kamari had one, and Kamari is going to cash in these 2 Solitudes to not have to deal with this Leyline.
I like that. I like the I need to get to work right away. I'm not going to wait and cast this Leyline. I'm casting a March on turn 1.
And this indicates that Kamari most likely has some sort of looting effect for this turn number 2. Whether it's the 2-mana loots, or the Frog, or Faithless Looting proper.
Or Tainted Indulgence, because we're doing it at instant speed.
Faithful Mending can also have instant.
Oh,
we have
Mending,
the perfect split here of black-white land and a blue land.
So we can cast our spells this game, which is a huge departure.
Yeah, huge. Kamari can actually cast spells this game. This is a Chainsaw Dog? Chainsaw Friend? Who's on the mountain?
The dog.
It's a dog? Sorry, I don't know anything. Typically, Cat helps me get Pokemon drawn on my basics. I didn't know you could do other IPs too.
Yeah, as long as it's anime. That's actually the rule. You can only put anime alters on your basics.
Yeah, Cat's partner did a bunch of those for a bunch of folks, and I have a giant Snorlax on a plains. It's just lovely. So big shout outs to people enjoying and engaging with Magic in as many ways as possible.
So I think I also saw a Celestial Purge.
Oh, smart. Yes. Celestial Purge is one of those good sideboard cards that can deal with a black permanent. There's a Creeping Chill and a Narcomoeba.
I think that's going to trigger 2 Silver Smoke Ghouls.
2 ghouls? Mom lets you have 2 ghouls? You're right. There are 2 ghouls.
Yep. This is getting out of hand. Now there's 2 of them.
But the thing is Kamari does, if you think about it, have Graveyard Online, just hasn't done anything with it yet.
All right, so not a lot going on there. Get a second Thug.
1, 2. Oh, that's so many amalgams.
3 amalgams?
Okay, something's happening. Oh, discard the 4th from hand. So if Cat can get something to return, so a Silver Smoke Ghoul or a Narcomoeba.
The ghouls are coming back this turn because we started the turn.
So those will create a second, even further delayed for the amalgams to return on Kamari's end step.
Yeah. And we're Kamari snapping off a Uh,
Wait. Oh.
they all come at once, right? Because the ghouls come in, and then the amalgams come in. Oh
Oh,
well,
and that's the game there. Sheesh. Kamari does have kind of the 1-2 punch, just no looter in hand, and having to pitch the whole hand to deal with the ley line. Dealt with it, but just didn't leave enough behind.
yeah. Okay, so
Yeah.
chat here saying that they would come in. You're right.
Yes, because currently the amalgams had no inciting instinct. They haven't
Oh
seen
right.
anything leave yet.
So
So they see Ghoul leave on Cat's turn, and then they go, oh, on the next one, I'm coming back, which would be Kamari's turn.
You're right. You're right.
But that's A-okay. They would have been tapped. They would have been just in the way. But Kamari's hand of just big thing, return, and force was not enough. How's our lovely backup match production? They're done.
They're done.
Dang. So we put Frog deck versus Amulet Titan on the backup. And the Frog deck took it down in 2 games, not even Amulet taking a single game.
Ooh.
Green Sun Zenith, who?
I'm not gonna lie to you. I like to see Titan lose.
Ooh. Folks, as I was saying before, if you have any interest in picking things up from nerdragegaming.com, whether it's Innistrad Remastered or some of the beautiful cards you see here, Standard is back, Standard is booming, NRG Chicago is looming, and you can buy cards at nerdragegaming.com. I'm a big fan of using the wishlist function if there's a card that you're waiting for, you know, just that one last piece for your Standard deck, your Modern deck commander, whatever it could be. You can get notified, and especially at big events, like when NRG was at Atlanta, or these upcoming events in places like Chicagoland, Indianapolis, and Madison. When NRG buys a card, then they list a card, and then you suddenly get a notification, you might be able to walk right up to the booth and get that card you're missing while at the event. Places like Elmhurst that first week in February, the Saturday Showdown playing Modern, the Sunday team trial of Standard, Modern, and Legacy, as well as additional events in March in Madison, the Chicagoland area again in May, and then in June, Indianapolis. The formats for all of these events has been announced. You can find them on the Nerd Rage Gaming homepage. With that being said, we're going to find more matches and more time and take a breather. Please don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Bye-bye. everybody, and welcome back to round 2 of Wednesday Night Modern here at the Nerd Rage Gaming home store. We are maintaining our time in Magical Christmas Land as folks are playing the recently unbanned cards. Welcome to round number 2. I'm Dominic Stryker alongside May,
This is me.
and this is the Mox Opal battle.
This is another mirror match.
Okay, we said that last time when the only shared cards were 4 Faithless Lootings. And I have David's playing Breach. Wee you. It is still a Mox Opal combo deck, but it is going to be Sam on Hammer on the right side and David Garola on Teamer Breach, I'm gonna assume, but possibly straight blue-red.
The Browntown Throwdown. I like that.
Oh, dude, shout out Last God. If we can give them any goodies for Browntown Throwdown, that is incredible. So David's deck juiced up by the unbanning of Mox Opal. Sam's deck also juiced up by the unbanning of Mox Opal, allowing Sam access to a burst of mana for getting his opponent dead as fast as possible, and giving David access to a burst of mana and additional combo pieces. So it's game on.
It is game on. We already got the hammer in hand for Sam. We could be getting the Forge Anew. Could have oh gosh.
Pure Steel Paladin, Steel
Steel
Shaper's
Paladin.
Gift. And Sam probably most likely when you're playing a game in the dark against someone doesn't want to throw your equippers out there for them to be killed by random removal. Depending
like right
on
now.
right. This little preordain
No,
here.
it's preordained.
Little draw. Oh, no draw for that Esper Sentinel. So showing David may or may not have a lot to do this turn, or may have some free cards to play this turn.
Bottom is never a good place to be.
And a bad relationship. As David here is going to be playing a Mishra's Bobble out and immediately bobbling Sam. So this is going to be the interesting tug and pull for David too of enabling Metalcraft as well as using Mishra's Bobbles.
Right.
And then David did not attack with this Tamiyo. So no access to the clue, keeping the 0-3 just in case.
So here comes
Another Sentinel.
2. We've got a Spell Pierce in hand for Sam. No blue mana.
Possibly a sneaky Mox Opal if possible to get access to blue, but only time will tell. Block on the Sentinel. Just a little bit of damage here.
Just a little bit of damage. I think we also do have the Pure Steel.
Yeah. Underworld Breach. Yep, David is playing the Underworld Breach combo, so this is the combination of putting the card Actual Factual Underworld Breach into play alongside a Grinding Station. The Grinding allows you to mill 3, which feeds the Breach.
Fortnite Mountain.
David is a big... all of David's basics are typically the Fortnite ones. So David looking to put the combination of 2 free artifacts, looping them over and over and over again with Grinding Station to self-mill, and then typically either looking for a Thassa's Oracle or a Grape Shot to finish it off at the end. Warhammer 40k Clue.
Warhammer 40k Clue. We love it. Universe is beyond everywhere.
Yeah, not NRG Teams Champion Clue, Warhammer 40k Clue. But here's Pure Steel into the hammer.
Yep. Putting it on something.
Well, the hard part here is whatever they put it on, David could block with a Construct if interested. So not a lot of damage can get through yet. But a forced chump block and kind of a waste of David's turn and mana.
Yep, so we just get the chump block there.
And now Sam for free.
Yeah,
Post combat's going to move it around. So this is important, putting in the Pure Steel so that it survives damage-based removal. So typically you'll want to put it on your Esper Sentinel so that they can't pay to stop you from drawing cards. But even more important is making sure it's not going to die to an Unholy Heat and the like of pumping up the Paladin.
It's also sometimes, it's good to ensure that all your creatures feel powerful individually. So,
yes, you need to gas up each of your cards individually.
So making sure that the Esper Sentinel gets to feel the weight, emotionally, physically of the hammer before moving it on to its final home. That's an important part of the game that a lot of people overlook.
Yeah, they don't talk about that a lot when they write the theory articles on making sure that each of your creatures feels powerful.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's like a KonMari sort of effect where you want to thank your cards for doing a good job. So you want to show you're thankful to your cards by letting them hold the hammer, letting them feel special.
And by the soul Toy Story style that lives in each of our cards gets to feel powerful for just a moment.
Exactly.
David here using the search from the Urza Saga to find the not cracked, not unbanned Mox Amber, which requires a legend for it to be turned on Mox. But this Tamiyo has been sitting here the whole game preparing for this Amber to come.
Yep, so now we've got 4 mana, 5 mana actually.
Yeah, David gets to use the little extra floating uh, from the Cracked Saga alongside this breeding pool. So you can see that die kind of up there in the mid screen by Tamio. That was just the floating mana. Huge mill here. Unholy Heat, Mox, and Shadow Spear. That means David's graveyard is packed with
Ooh,
goodies.
double Mox.
And if David has an Underworld Breach right now, he wins the game. Fun fact. So,
Oh, yep. If he does.
and I see a Grape Shot in David's hand. So it looks like David might be trying to use this Malevolent Rumble to find actual factual Underworld Breach. And if he does, this game could be over right now.
Nope.
Land,
We play
Heat,
on.
Emery. David can play this Emery. Cast it for 1 mana. But the hard part is if he mills past a Breach, this is not a card that can grab that enchantment. And here going to play the Emery. There's the Underworld Breach being milled over. Yep, a little chuckle to himself. You can see that there. The beautiful Mind Sculptor Fox that you see there, discovering the coolest cards, that is the Eldrazi Spawn token. So David with access to even more mana than you think he has.
Oh, right. Yeah, I was like, well, the second Malevolent Rumble was only 1, but obviously he was pre-spending his.
David cashing in the Grape Shot for all the spells that he's cast to declare destruction on the rest of Sam's board.
Yeah. I mean...
Yeah. Now, Sam sneakily has been holding a Shadow Spear in hand. So on the hunt for a third artifact to re-enable Metalcraft and boot up this Pure Shield be as big as possible.
Doesn't he just play it, equip it for 3 mana?
Yes, but I want to do it for free.
Oh, never mind.
Well, all the free cards are out there now, as well as the Shadow Spear. Trigger draw. Oh, yeah. Come on, Sam.
Sam wouldn't miss that.
He almost did. I saw him almost do it.
Oh.
And second hammer, that's a game. Okay, so, all right, folks. So David was digging hardcore there to try to find an Underworld Breach because he already had Grinding Station in hand, right? So if David had 4 mana available where one of it was blue or one of it was red, that would allow him to spend that 4 mana to play Breach and Station. Station allows him to eat the 2 artifacts he already has in play, which will allow David to start looping the Moxes while he has the Tamio, which means he's going to be able to mill himself for 3 and float a blue. So then he's going to be able to start generating mana. So once he mills through the entirety of the library, he can either cast a red creature, say like a Ragavan if he needs to for Grape Shot, or with a Tamio in play could use that to channel the blue into a Thassa's Oracle. And we can see a little bit of spice, not to spoil it too much, but David's bringing in some Keppa Cannoneers out of the sideboard of Temur Breach.
I think it's pretty cool that these combo decks often have the secondary gameplay of just killing your opponent.
Big fan.
Yeah, I mean that's inherent to everything, any deck that has construct tokens, but really sending the message all the way home with the Kappa Cannoneers.
And very cool for this iteration of Temur Breach. I'm kind of putting the pieces together myself, looking through this example deck list. In that
Flame of Anor?
Oh, we got the wizards. Emery is a wizard and Tamio is a wizard. But additionally, this deck can go back to playing Grape Shot instead of playing Thoracle, because eventually the cards milled over will be Mox Opal. Mox Opal can make any mana. It doesn't care what legend there is, which allows David to get access to the red mana, which can allow casting Grape Shot over and over and over and over again. So even if opponents gain life or the storm's not working out quite right, he can instead cast multiple Grape Shots. So instead of relying on the self-mill and an ETB trigger or whatnot, this instead allows for the Grape Shot kills.
Yeah, and then you're not dying to Consign to Memory.
Yeah, I was thinking it doesn't die to Consign and doesn't die to Tidebinder, because if they counter the Storm trigger, you just do it again. Whereas your Oracle would just be sitting there in play. So wonderful shift back for these deck lists. You're going to see some options there in the sideboard, and then you have beautiful Hammer Time. You can't quite tell this doesn't look like Sam's because it's not foil or signed, but what's going to be really exciting is seeing if there's those Leyline X's.
Yeah, I'm about to say I would really like to see some Leyline X's. I like to see the Orvar, the All Form, respecting the rise of creativity.
There is respect for creativity out there. Depends on how in tune you are. Creativity was like really popular a few weeks ago, and then starting to wane, and people started playing Orvars. But the question is when you come here to play at your locals, is it Orvar or no?
Yeah, I think every time I played against creativity, I'm like, how could this deck possibly ever lose? It's incredible. And then I played it at F&M when I was back in Maine and
Oh,
went
no, you got Orvard?
0-4, and I was like, this deck sucks. I hate this deck.
Or when the creativity learns that 2 Archons beats 1 Orvar.
Yep.
uh, and a player's drawing him up here. David looks like drawing a few too many Underworld breaches there in that opening hand. But it will be interesting. You pointed out Flame of Anor could possibly be a card in David's sideboard. If that's the case, Shatter, deal 5, draw 2. All incredibly important when playing against your Hammer Time opponent. What if I said I could blow up your hammer, kill your paladin? Is that good? Probably.
It's probably good. Yeah. I mean, it's really it's unfair for the Temur deck to be playing Kolaghan's Command. You know, I think
Yes.
Kolaghan's Command is historically very good against Hammer Time.
I think we find a lot of ways for K command to persist, whether there being a new K command or there being Flame of Anor and them just upgrading K command. There's a lot of ways in which Kolaghan's command lives on.
I'm excited for a Flame of Anor versus K Command matchup next round that I can also refer to as a mirror match.
We need to find as many matchups where they only share 4 cards among each other.
Well, that they don't even share. They kind of share the same effect.
Kind
Right.
of.
Kind of.
How loose can we define mirror? Sound off in chat for us.
That's why I'm color commentary.
Oh yeah, get all the color. Paint with all the colors of the wind. David, this hand looks like that island. That island saved this hand. Wow.
Yeah, because otherwise we have a pair of Sagas and a Tameo and nothing to do.
Yeah, I think David has Shifting Woodland in hand too, which is an incredible card for this deck. Don't get me wrong. But David most likely keeping something along the lines of a Saga, an Island, a Tameo, a Fetch, and a few other flavors here.
Sam, no idea what Sam kept. Oh.
It's going to hurt. I can tell you that much.
Something's autographed in that hand. I can tell you that.
A lot of something, including the Mox Opals. Not that they're in hand, but they are already signed for old Sammy G.
That's incredible. I love when you have a deck master who really takes care to customize and bling out the deck to like the nth degree.
And my favorite part is that Sam shifted to doing this for Hammer Time instead of Amulet Titan, proving that he just likes playing Hammer.
I respect that. That's a very respectable maneuver.
Here we see Sam starting off with this Esper Sentinel squaring off against, again, the turn 1 Tameo out of David. And we saw David be a little hesitant to attack with the Tameo last game, but forget it.
Forget it. What are the odds we get bunked for 20 on Sam's next turn?
And I'm not saying Sam's not playing Leylon Axe, but this is 2 games now and no Axe. Come on.
No axe. Oh, Emery.
Both Wizards in play. Wizardtron assembled. Milling over the Shadow Spear, Mishra's Bauble, and a Breach.
And Thundering Falls.
The hard part for David is getting Breach into the yard is not something David can get back. But Milling Station, you can cast Breach and have the first card you bring back be the Grinding Station. So David is incentivized to mill over the stations, but try to get Breaches into hand.
So Sam also has a Pithing Needle in their hand. And I'm wondering if you're in Sam's position, what do you name with Pithing Needle? Do you just name Grinding Station to stop the combo?
Yes.
Or
Smart. I would probably name...
Or Emery or Saga, right?
So naming Saga would shut off Sam's own Sagas. Shutting off Emery shuts down David's grind to play a normal game plan. Naming Station means that David quite literally can't combo.
So it's fair gameplay only.
I think so. My thought was that Sam could also target, because you can't target any of the Moxes because you can't turn off mana abilities, correct?
You cannot. Well, you can name the Moxes.
Yes, but it
doesn't do anything.
So I believe far and away the best bet is to name the Grinding Station, but I might rethink that if we face double Saga.
Yeah, I was about to say. I think the plan B of kill you with huge Saga tokens is well and truly underway here.
Let's talk about this being a hard combo deck out of David, pivoting into possibly bringing in Kappa Cannoneers, but also having the Saga plan in a deck with actual artifacts. David's just going to make 6/6s or 7/7s and be able to attack through an opponent trying to interact with the combo.
And can buy back that Shadow Spear.
Oh,
right?
Yes. The thing is, this Temur Breach deck is really good and really hard to play on Moto, which means it's one of those decks that's hard for it to kick-off of people seeing it being powerful, because Moto is where so many of the games happen, right? Where so much of our data comes from now. But a deck that's hard to combo online is hard for us to gain that data. So David here being able to play this really good deck that is kind of secretly under the radar because it's just hard to play online.
Right. All right. So we got a Mox Opal. It is foil and signed.
Of course.
Beautiful.
Welcome. Welcome to the team, Vox Opal. You can see all your brothers and sisters and robotic friends are they're on board. Here's the needle. Sam, please grab a piece of scratch paper and please write something. Oh, Haviva's on the move. Haviva immediately felt it. Ooh,
Okay.
we were gonna ask. Yes, needle on the stack. He's gonna write it on paper.
Literally needle on the stack.
Yeah. You think the needle's in the haystack? No, needle's on the stack.
Needle is on the stack right now.
This one's super easy to find. It's sitting on top of the stack. Don't rustle the stack. You'll find it.
Okay, so we made a construct in response.
Because David's wary of Sam naming Saga. And he is, in fact, going to name Urza Saga. So this means David is just getting this one construct. The hard part is Saga's first mode and third mode are still going to happen. So David can still tap for mana, and David can still use as a tutor at the end of the line.
But now we only have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Only.
We only have a 5/5.
Right.
The first Saga pops.
And then Tamio, we make it a 6/6, and then Tamio can attack me at a 7/7.
Yep, and we can buy back the spear. Oh, it just gets huge.
Shouts in chat. I know this is not David's first rodeo. This deck is good. David is good, and I've seen it from him before. But I am saying this is a perfect time to return to it. So I am very excited to see it happening here in person as the Sanctifier NVEC hits.
Oh, that's interesting. It slows the breach down.
Yeah, it exiles red cards and black cards. So that means it's going to exile any breaches, any removal spells, and if David runs something like a Dismember.
But it also just means that, like, when they're going to breach combo,
just less cards.
There's less fuel, so it's not necessarily guaranteed. We love a non-deterministic combo.
Quick note for our lovely production: Sam won game 1. We currently have it showing for David. Sam, in fact, double hammered David right before the pivotal turn, which is very important for David's combo deck to try to win games 2 and 3, because Sam, being an aggro deck, is just going to try to push every turn of this game. I find that it's really hard when like an aggressive deck like Hammer wins game number 1, because they just need to do their plan once in the next 2 games to kill you, but you need to continue to do your plan and stop them. It can be really hard when you're always feeling that pressure.
Right. So we got Mox Opal off of the Saga.
For David here. So alongside the construct and the 2 clues, this is a full functioning best Mox possible. Taps for all 5 colors.
Sheesh. I'm sure he also floated a mana. Not sure what he's going to be doing with it, but he's not making a construct, so.
And I mean,
versus floating mana.
I don't need to tell you, but that's a Fortnite Island.
That is a Fortnite Island.
It's a big shark, which I'm on board.
You know me. I love the Fortnite basics.
Yeah, everyone knows that. I see you play them all the time. As here's the Tamio flipping for the 3 cards drawn in this turn. And
oh no, Hammer has all these the small powers. How will they be able to get through the Tamio Plus?
I literally said this because Sam and I were talking about cards to put in the sideboard. And I was talking about March of Otherworldly Light, which we saw come up in the last match. And they're like, oh, well, it can't answer a flip Tamio. I go, when the creature doesn't have a hammer, you don't care about a flip Tamio.
Yeah.
They're going to deal just a little bit more damage than that. The other piece of bringing the Sanctifier NVEC here for Sam is it having pro red means it has pro all of David's removal. So it's also one of the safest targets for any of the big buffs.
That's true.
Yeah, it was kind of the plan when there was Is It Murktide before everyone was on Dimir Murktide. This card had a protection from all of the removal. Coincidentally, it being Dimir Murktide, it still has protection from all of the removal.
Still has all the protection from the removal. Okay, so we got a Paladin.
And a hammer.
Here comes
and
a
Pierce
hammer.
for the hammer. Card drawn. Because if Sam drew his own Pierce, he could have kept his Mox and pierced the Pierce. But instead, looks like drawing Memnite and a Stinky Inky here, an Inkmoth Nexus. David is in fact stuck with a Unholy Heat in hand. Again, a red piece of removal that can't deal with the Anvek, but could definitely deal with the Pure Steel Paladin.
Yeah, we can deal with the Pure Steel Paladin. We're keeping the Inkmoth Nexus honest.
Yes, an honest Inkmoth Nexus. And interestingly, also David with a Haywire Might in hand, but the only green source currently being the Mox Opal. Search here off the saga for David. Remember, importantly, the Moxen are all legendary, right? Mox Opal and Mox Amber are legends. And David even further incentivized to get this uninteractable Pithing Needle.
Oh.
And by that, I mean the moment it comes into play, it already gets to choose a name before Sam can do anything.
Yep. So, okay, we'll see what this one is. What do you name?
Hammer. Right? Because
because
Pure Steel Paladin makes it an equip 0.
Equip 0, yeah, you're right. Man, that saga is good.
That saga card, huh? And even with it being named off the needle, David still, again, using it for mana, using it for tutoring, found this needle, found a Mox. Ooh.
Oh, Surge protects the needle.
Protects the needle, and David has sacked the Haywire Might anyways. So,
right. Not that sacrificing the Haywire Might is a huge cost here.
But he gets one card out of the way, and Emery bringing it right back.
Yep.
And David's construct currently at a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5. And with 1 mana remaining, won't be able to equip, but can still battle with the 5/5.
Can still bonk.
Can still bonk. We've been saying it.
We've been saying this.
Can still bonk. Ornithopter Meat Bus.
Yep. Goodbye, Ornithopter.
That card was a 0 mana gain 5. All right. Not
yeah.
bad.
I'd play a 0 mana game 5.
I think the format would be destroyed and warped by a 0 mana game 5. Those weren't the correct words, but it would be warped by a 0 mana gain 5. I think.
I think so.
It would at least make an Adam Weiss cry, I think.
Yeah, it would not be good for Adam Weiss.
Sam lining up attacks, thinking was going in with some of the 2/2s, but realizes it's not a good attack and passes the turn back. All right, David. I think drew a Spell Pierce. It's these wild Seeker Lair Showdown Spell Pierces.
Yep, take 2 actually deals with the Pithing Needle, so...
And David with enough mana left over still to Urza Saga. Here's confirmation that David's beautiful Tattoo Seeker Lair Pithing Needle is naming Hammer.
Hammer.
Appreciate it.
So now we can start making constructs again, which...
Yeah, David can make a construct, so this saga does now equal 2 additional constructs over the next turn and a half. And I lied. David's hand is Heat, Emery.
Ooh, Heat, Emery.
Here's another Pure Steel. Whenever David wants, he can deal with these Pure Steel Paladins.
I think he's going to deal with them by making...
Rumbling,
yeah.
By putting a Shadow Spear on one of these massive constructs. Does David have a Boots? This is one of my favorite plays was make third construct, find Boots. Hit so hard.
If we have Boots here, that would be sick.
But David not making that construct indicates that maybe not, and I guess you could just get a Mox. I guess you could get a Mox and allow your blue creature here in Emery, as well as that flip Tameo just hanging out in the top there.
Oh, that Mox makes green.
It does make green.
How about that?
For Malevolent Rumble.
Oh, now we're drawing half of our deck and having no maximum hand size?
Hey, tip for gamers. If you count the number of permanents that you've played so far, the remainder is your deck, and that's much easier to count. Because then you can just quickly draw your half. Or if you're kitchen tabling it, you could eyeball.
I love to eyeball.
Putting the 2 stacks next to each other. But now David here with, quite literally, no joke, half of the deck in hand.
Half the deck in hand. Cast whatever you feel like. Take a bunch of game actions.
Did you draw your combo?
Surely.
Play your Moxen first.
Play some Moxen.
Yep.
Are we just going to try to cast 11 spells? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, right. I guess it... Wow. Another point in favor of Grape Shot of moments like that where you can just cast spells.
You can just probably just cast enough spells.
And I wonder that can also allow a breach kill without station because you just have so many zeros. If you just play a normal game of Magic, you could find yourself in situations where 1 or 2 Grape Shots for 3 or 4 could just be enough to finish a game too. So I think really smart to make the move over to Grape Shot and tying it up 1 game apiece. David.
David's got the Flame of Anors.
Yeah, but they're in the
They're on
board.
the board.
David, if you can hear me. David, get those in here. David, I promise you. They're the best card in the... Wait, your Consigns and your Flaminors? Hey, brother, I just want you to know. Oh,
The Cannoneers are going
I was like, oh, 3 cards, but not those ones.
Kappa Kappa.
Yeah, okay. Plan is changing. I don't want to show any sort of choice or favoritism, but I really don't like Kappa Cannoneer, which means I'm going to watch it kill someone.
Yeah.
It's just how the world
What
works.
don't you like about Kappa Cannoneer? Ward 4?
Yeah,
Only
that sounds
costs 1?
right.
For like a 10/10 unblockable?
It's vibes. I don't like that
Vibes.
Turtles vibes.
Yeah, hey, that's fair.
Can I tell you why? Absolutely not.
You know what? You don't have to explain yourself. It's my fault for asking.
Yeah, you know what? The introduction of the word vibes makes things so much easier to
Yeah.
explain.
Why don't I like Kappa Cannoneer? Vibes. Yeah.
I just don't. Does that help?
That's what I
No.
don't like about Titan.
Mm,
Look at him.
mm.
He's got a smug face. I'm tired of looking at it.
Oh man! Shout out to Ryan Bellamy who quoted Primeval Titan as what used to be his least favorite card, and now it is his least favorite card that made him a lot of money. Which is a great way to distinguish between what Prime Titan used to be and what Prime Titan is now.
If you're the Hammer Time player, do you keep triple Urza Saga?
If I'm a hammer, I keep triple saga. No, you die.
I think you die.
If you keep triple saga, by the time you get even one of and your saga timing is bad, right? Every saga interrupts one being able to additionally activate.
Oh, you're right.
Which is, can be hard. David here, the beautiful preordained with anime Amanatu, reaching out to the folks. A little bit of that Scry 2 draw action. Unban Ponder win. Oh, okay. Okay, if you say so.
I don't think we're gonna unban. I'm gonna be.
Well, doesn't every ban announcement have one card unbanned to make Murktide better? Aren't those the rules?
Oh, those are the rules.
Everyone
No.
knows that.
This time they did not unban any cards to make Murktide better. It just got better anyway somehow.
Right. Them unbanning the other cards allowed Murktide to get better because it just had more people doing things poorly.
Yeah, you're like, oh, you wanna mess around with fun cards? You wanna brew? Nah, I'm just gonna play really consistent, mid-range kind of
Yes.
control gameplay.
The same way that the deck dominates standard and a lot of other formats, if you just play the good cards in a smidgen of interaction, you can stop just about anybody.
And the interaction is good. Playing actual factual counterspell.
Here is the Morgul Knife, and here's a Pithing Needle.
I think both players have opted for Morgul Knife as opposed to the traditional Shadow Spear
Of
or
course. Or Laura Croft's spear.
Laura Cross Spear. Yeah, I was like, oh, is it a bow or is it a spear?
I think
it's still a spear.
Yeah. What's its name? Nobody knows.
I could not tell you.
Springleaf Drum. Welcome to RCQ season 1 season ago.
Welcome, Emery.
Welcome, Emery. Perfect Mill incoming. Bobble Heat. Kappa Cannoneer.
Kappa Cannoneer.
But it is an artifact, so it can be recast using the ability.
And you can improvise and everything.
Improvise and everything. Sam showcasing that the needle is on grinding station. Important with both players having Saga here. Sam's not going to gain that advantage. Preordained, David digging deeper and deeper. Oh, yeah. when you fiddle your cards around that quickly, be very careful to check your preordained order before you draw them.
I have done that. Jeez.
Mox. And then
Mox,
Malevolent Rumble.
Malevolent Rumble.
This is important, right? You didn't see David top because the second card topped would have been rumbled away anyway. So David bottomed in search of something else.
Totex Spear.
Okay, big shouts.
says Cora. Not a word, not a name I think I would have ever come up with.
Yeah, but appreciate it. David also, on top of everything else, has these beautiful Mystery Booster 2 grinding stations, future sight frame.
Oh, the future sight frame. I'm a
Yeah.
big fan of the mystery boosters, future sights, and also the white borders. I was really, really happy when I saw the white borders. Um, like white border to fairy time raveler
Fits.
is so great.
It would, if I were to buy the whiteboard ones, it would be the fourth version of that card I've tried to buy. And I think it's too much, and they just made it too feathery, and I'll be okay, and I'll never look at the whiteboarders. And here's third preordained for David Garola. Get rid of all those cards. Give me a new one. David with access to just killing someone if he wants to.
Well, no, grinding station, right? Still named.
Yeah. But I am interested if there is a manual mode. And I imagine if David can find Breach, which he does have a hand. And, to the Saga on 2. Next turn, grabs Might, pops the needle, and David's off to the races. So David's plan right here, right now, I believe, is survival.
So we're picking nothing. We're not casting anything from our graveyard. Nope, we are. We are.
He's getting a little
Bobble.
bobble action. And,
We're doing bobble.
Yeah, just cheating real quick.
Yeah, he's
Passing
like,
the turn back.
he's like, wait, no. You only get one thing for.
Yeah. The Eldrazi Scion kind of gets to improvise. It just gets to sacrifice itself
It
to
does.
cover one of the mana.
But you still only get one improvisation per turn.
Yes. As everyone learned through all the years of theater, a one improvisation per turn.
Yes, and.
Yes, and big old construct coming in here for Sam. Currently a 4/4 for his, but this search will make it a 5/5.
So here comes Boots and Rumble.
Hmm.
The Hammer Time deck is a Boots and Rumble type deck.
Second Needle. Sam, do you have Second Needle?
Ooh, Second Needle would be sick.
Boots.
No, Boots and Rumble.
Now these boots will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it'll be a construct that is a 6/6 with haste or 6/5, and a construct that is a 5/5. But that is 11 damage. David at 18, not quite enough.
And Sam is, I think, preparing to play another Urza Saga, though.
Ooh, a good thing to prepare for.
Yep, there it is.
Yeah, if I'm David, I think I'd also. We were talking about consigning someone's Urza Saga triggers too, but the consigns did not come in. But boy, oh boy, do I want them more and more. Scion blocking, doing its due diligence of just absorbing as much damage as possible, and the toss back to David.
They're just making constructs back and forth.
But this is David's big moment. So this Saga going up to 3, find Haywire Might, eat the needle, and combo his opponent. I imagine he wants to do that.
Oh, that's a good point. See, that's a line I might not have seen.
So I've spent time playing both these decks in play and playing Nadu and Brood Skill. Anytime the Ursaga package has combo card and stop your opponent from stopping you card, when it pops, you're like, this is the moment.
Yeah.
So David, knowing that instead of going to get any additional combo pieces, it's going to get the card to stop Sam from stopping him. Even getting to utilize this Springleaf Drum alongside the Might that he's sacrificing.
Oh, he gets the Might gets to do double duty.
Double duty on that Might. And David, here we go.
Grinding Station.
Yep, using the Emery here, so not even needing to use the cards. The 3 cards to escape with Breach, just being able to actually factually use it off Emery. And Sam doesn't know it yet, but I think we're done here.
I think we're done here, yeah. I don't we're past the point of a forced negation doing anything.
So again, David will each time get to sacrifice a Mox, floating a mana, and milling 3 cards. Those 3 cards every time can fuel the reactivation of the 3 mana needed for Underworld Breach. So that means David, as long as he doesn't exile typically any of his Moxen or his kill condition, he can just take the 3 cards he flips and toss them immediately into exile and rinse and repeat each time. On the hunt now for that grape shot. Sam being everyone's favorite combo adjacent player, just helping keeping track of everything.
Yeah, so we've got mana and storm count.
Yes. Because importantly, David does need to get to 9 spells cast, Grape Shot for 9, Grape Shot for 10.
Yeah.
And along the way, David's going to be floating mana. Again, the real nice thing is the reintroduction of Mox Opal to these decks is the Mox Opal itself can float any color. So you see that it's floating red mana, even though there's a red legend, which used to be a hard part for this deck. So now this instead allows David to go through this combo, floating whichever mana he pleases.
Yeah, just do it. Just slip 3 cards at a time until you get there.
And there it is. So exile an additional card. Shoot ya. 3 for 1 shot and 3 for the second shot. And that's the game. David Gorilla taking it down 2-1 with Temur Breach, an incredibly powerful deck being reinvigorated with Mox Opal and being unlocked by playing games of Magic right here in person at the Nerd Rage Gaming home store in Buffalo Grove, Illinois. This has been round 2 of our weekly Modern Nights. We are just having a blast seeing these unlocked cards. We saw the Faithless Looting Mirror last round. We're seeing Mox Opal Mirror this round. And if you're looking to game, you can join us here in the Buffalo Grove, Illinois home store. Wednesdays, you can see, is the 6:30 Modern, streamed right here live if you can't make it. Thursdays, if you're a Pokemon fan, they stream live, the 6:30 event, but there's also 5 p.m. EDH. Friday, as a good old Haviva always put it, it's Boomer Zoomer night, as there's Legacy, Standard, and additional games in the form of One Piece. Saturdays is Digimon. It loops back to Monday Digimon and EDH. And Tuesdays, folks out here playing the other games with the One Piece and Lorcana. But if you are a gamer, NRG is a great spot to do so. Seems like they're adding additional games to the calendar and the schedule and what's being stocked every week. There's so many things not only in the pipeline, but already happening now. Thank you all so much for joining us for round number 2. We'll be back for round number 3 as soon as we can. Don't go anywhere. Bye.
Bye.
What I like about the NRG series is how much of a community it feels like.
It's really cool to be able to meet people that share common interests with you and become friends with them and grow relationships.
I'm able to feel a sense of belonging that I don't feel a lot of other places.
Oh man, it's almost indescribable. A lot of regulars who play the series basically all year, it feels almost like a sort of homecoming. I could tell even from like the first time I started playing.
The atmosphere here is very friendly and almost like a family.
It's just a lot of familiar faces.
Real sense of community. It's really refreshing to be able to spend time with people who I haven't seen in a long time.
Even strangers will just be very welcoming.
I've made a lot of really valuable friendships and other connections.
Ridiculously good energy.
There's a really good community here.
They're also encouraging.
The gathering ends up being so good in and of itself, and honestly I think that's the biggest upside of going to the NRG series.
The NRG series is coming to a Midwest
Hello, everybody, and welcome to round number 3 of our Wednesday Night Modern, brought to you by the Nerd Rage Gaming home store here in beautiful Buffalo Grove, Illinois. I'm Dom Stryker, alongside May.
That's me.
And shouts to the beautiful Nux for the beginning of the game. Our 2-0 players, Jack, better known as Goblin Ringleader, rocking, who would have guessed it, the Goblins, and Blake, someone who I would describe as what used to be a Steam Vents gamer, but now just rocking Demir Frog because it's the best way to play your blue cards.
It's the best Steam Vents deck.
Sadly, that's kind of true. But we did watch that Underworld Breach combo deck last round that probably coming for the best Steam Vents title right now.
Yeah, in actuality, that probably is the best Steam Vents. But a lot of
Yes.
Steam Vents these days, they're looking like Watery Graves.
They look a lot like Watery Grave these days. And shout out to Jack. You may see this little guy here.
Oh my God, Warren Instigator.
Oh, it's Warren Instigator time. All right. And Jack already utilizing and understanding the power of adding Arena of Glory to the Goblins deck. It allows you to combo with a Snoop that you played just that turn. But Arena of Glory plus Warren Instigator also is a pretty good fast beat 'em ups out of the Goblins deck. Now, no Arena this time, but it's good to know for any future goings on.
I think we're about to get spell snared here.
No, not Spell Snare.
I know, it's no fun.
I think what really hurts my soul is when I get got by the specific counters. Like if you have counterspell, you have counterspell. But if you have the specific for the thing that I have, really daggers me.
Yeah, so your Stern Scoldings, your spell snares. Spell snare is like such a weird card because it's like counter a 2-drop. That shouldn't be the premier counterspell of the format, and yet
Somehow the curves get lower and lower and lower, and with that, the snare gets better and better and better.
Okay, Demir Frog, Demir Oculus, about to show why this deck is really popular, potentially. Because you can Thought Scour into an Oculus and then unearth it on turn 2. Let's see.
These things do sound good. Blake can go,
Do it.
never mind, just kidding.
Yeah, just do it.
Like he could go the, just in case method and try to consider.
You still draw. I don't think he's drawn.
Oh no!
Blake, don't shuffle your library yet. Draw first. Blake.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's drawing a random card. There he is. Look at this. Beautiful. Real quick.
Yep. So he's drawing off the Thought Scour.
Yep, so we're just making sure he's going to draw this card, then he's going to cast the
Yeah, you can
Unearth.
still cast the Unearth.
Off the shuffle. Yeah. Unfortunately, we've interrupted a grand flurry of shortcutting.
We have. We really messed him up.
Yep. Blake very accurately representing that it is supposed to be here while he goes and gets the blue-black card, and he's going to cast the Unearth. Nothing changes for Jack. Everything is the
Yeah,
same,
Jack is like,
just making sure it all happens the right way.
Yep, he's just chilling.
If you recognize Blake, that's because I always say that Blake is the person to blame for the banning of Nadu. You may have seen the NRG Top 8 event of Blake playing against Brian Brown Duin, who may or may not have taken quite a while to Nadu kill Blake, and Blake just sat there and let it happen. And I think that display is what has put us where we are today.
I think Blake also should be at 16.
Oh,
I
jeez.
think we've really messed him all up.
No,
here.
well, he gains life off the trespasser, right?
No, he gave life to trespasser. Okay, phew.
Phew.
Okay.
The flurry. Now, importantly, Jack here, Snoop in play, combo card on top. If Blake does not interact, Blake is dead.
I can't even see. Was that? Oh, that's
The Harbinger.
Yeah. Okay. So
Now, that's under the assumption Jack did not play a third land this turn, but there is one sneakily waiting in hand. So he held back his third land to appear weak.
that's sick.
Blake here getting the day-night token out. Thank you so much, Graveyard Trespasser. Really appreciate it. Blake with so many cards in hand, none of them stop.
3 considers, a force, an oculus, and
And a Bowmaster.
a bowmaster.
So these considers have a lot of work to do.
Yeah, you need.
But
you need
but Jack would be terrified, right? You see your opponent with just 2 blue open, nothing else going on. How could they not have your kill?
It's true.
Oh yeah, going for it. 3 damage.
Yeah, 3 damage.
Jack's saying make him have it. And this also might be a scenario of Blake being reminded what the combo is, and now is a bad time to be reminded.
Yeah. Oh, he says resolves.
Here we go. So Jack's going to get a Kiki Jiki, but Kiki Jiki on top. Conspicuous Snoop's going to gain the ability of Kiki. It's going to tap and make a token of itself, creating a new Snoop with haste that once again sees Kiki. And he's going to make infinitely tapped Conspicuous Snoops. With the very last Snoop, he can then retarget the Bogart Harbinger and put a different combo piece on top. Jack, knowing this part has resolved, might be playing around this Bowmaster on the Harbinger, because now Jack can combo a response.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah. Finding out what cards you lose to and making sure you don't lose to them. So again, he's going to make all of these Snoops, and then the last one is going to target the Harbinger, change the top guard to a Sling Gang, and throw all of the cards at Blake.
Yep.
Bing, Jack realizing that he has to go for it there into his opponent with all this open mana because they have to have it. Turns out he didn't. His one piece of interaction was one Jack immediately played around there. Blake had to use his mana, and Jack combo killed in response.
I like the respect. I like the that Jack stopped and was thinking and was like, okay, how do I lose here? What could they be representing? 2 blue mana is really scary. There's also a black mana, go for the throw,
Yes.
fatal push, all kinds of stuff. But in the end, he's just like, I'm gonna go for it anyway.
Yeah, but Jack still took that one pause, made Blake act first, and by doing so, allowed himself to win that game. An important part, been tuning into Jack's streams on and off, and sometimes it helps to be like, oh, stop, you could die to this card. And then I've watched him go into the tank, figure out what that means, and come out with the answer on how to combo on top of it, just like you saw there. Demir Frog, look at here. This is what it could be. Cards that could be. What? He is playing Frog, he's not his deck. So some cards that he could possibly have are Bowmasters. We saw those in the main. Some Brazen Borrowers, Consigns, Push, Surgical, Mystical Dispute, Toxic Deluge, and Nihil Spellbomb. Very importantly, the Graveyard Hate pieces will not stop any of what Jack's doing. All of it is on the onboard interactions. Toxic Deluge, Fatal Push, Borrower, any of these pieces that can bounce or interact are going to be greatly appreciated to help Blake get to his game plan, which can be just as explosive. He just has to make sure to not die along the way.
Yeah, so I think we're probably not that interested in Spell Pierce, Force Negation against the creature combo deck.
Good point, right? That's like an easy, 2 to 4 cards, depending how many are in the main, for maybe bringing in some Deluges and a Push and a Borrow and calling it a day.
Yeah, you might look at Consign, because stopping the first Snoop to let you give you another draw step is like not nothing, or it draws you into your.
Does it? Because Consign targets the trigger, and there's no trigger, right?
Untap.
They're not untapping. They're the new Snoop.
But the new Snoop is untapping, right?
Nope. No, the new Snoop is now making a copy of itself, and then the next Snoop makes a copy of itself, and the next Snoop makes a copy of itself.
Oh, it's different than Splinter Twin.
Yeah, that's different than Twin. It's not tapping and untapping. It makes infinite tapped creatures.
That's what
that each time have Kiki's ability because Kiki's still on top.
That's right.
And then the very last one swaps the target. So there's actually no triggered ability along the way, which is shocking for a combo such as that.
But it's a triggered ability for the the final. So you can make infinite tap snoops and then consign the Harbinger.
Yes, yeah. We get counter harbingers. That's the perfect spot if we're trying to consign. And if Blake does bring them in, they could also tag Aether Vials for Jack, kind of going with the value plan. So if we see them, those are the spots for them. Jack, also importantly, I can see a Cavern of Souls sitting in his Goblin's hand. Pretty good against your blue-black opponent.
Oh, he's on 6.
I always say 6 on the draw with the new Mulligan rule feels just like a 7.
It feels just like a 7.
Feels
yeah.
just like it.
Oh, come on.
Cavern into Vial, like 2 cards your blue opponent hates.
Yeah.
Blake looking at his Stern Scolding. Oh, boy, oh. This card exactly does not get hit by the Scolding, and then the Cavern's going to shut it off for the rest of the game.
Yep.
Blake in a fetch shock for Watergrave, and I believe cast this Consider in hand.
Or we could just be looking at a Surveil land. Yeah, you
Nah.
called it.
Mostly because he went to 17.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so he's already adjusted his life total.
Yeah, that's the only thing that got me, because sometimes putting a Surveil land in play feels like casting a Consider anyways, but you got it. Oh, Thought Scour, even better. Saw that in hand as well. Consider push, or a counterspell push, 2 cards that Blake may have wanted, not the counterspell, but definitely the push. And now the turn passed it back to Blake.
He ended up with a push for his trouble anyway. Oh, no.
Almost.
Dang.
But I think Blake might be getting to just natty the opponent Oculus by casting spells, already 4 cards in graveyard.
It's true.
And this Consider makes 5, and Blake really wants to make 6. Snap exiling or putting the Murktide in the bin. But Blake also was close to just drawing that and making a huge Murktide next turn.
Well, we can also cast the Oculus next turn.
But also cast which the 2 parasite off each other of the same fuel, so that makes sense now. Blake on the move.
Okay,
Surveillant this time?
Surely this is a Surveillant.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Here
We're going to the Undercity Sewer. What Blake would like here is to mill over a different Oculus so that he can keep the mana advantage.
Oh, that would be great. Yeah, you mill another Oculus.
Yeah.
So you get to unearth it and keep up some sort of interaction.
I'll even accept a Graveyard Trespasser.
Sure, why not?
Not the Snap Mill. Keep it on top. Blake with a
it was the
Frog.
land.
Perfect. Frog in hand as well for Blake, so being able to start putting a threat in play while holding up some of this one-man interaction. But it is just going to be the Oculus because it's hard to play around the Vial and the Cavern of Souls, so instead Blake's going to get his own pressure.
And it's good. I don't think Jack is representing lethal here. No Snoop already in play. If you tick your Vial up to 2 and then put a Snoop into play, it's not going to have...
Doesn't have haste that way.
Doesn't have haste that way. You're not worried about the Arena of Glory Snoop plan, because you can't do that on top of your Vial. So I think it's a pretty safe place to be putting an Oculus into play here. Untapping with all your mana and having lots of interaction.
Yes, right. It's finding the exact moments to land threat, pass, know that you're going to be okay, to then have threat and interaction for the rest of the game. Flipping over a Stomping Ground. Excuse me? In your Rakdos Goblin deck? What are you hiding, Jack?
What are we doing with green mana?
It might be Ignoble Hierarch. I've seen the little guy come in and out.
Are we flashing back an Ancient Grudge?
Right now it's just Mom. Goblin Matron's here.
Is he cooking something with Grumgully?
Oh, Grumgully, Skirk Prospector, and Persist Creature. I think that's how it goes.
Yeah, I think it's more of a commander thing, but you never know.
Comboing with a 3-color card could be a lot worse, right?
Yeah.
Your combo card could cost 7, but at least this one's a 3-mana Goblin. A quick little flash of the Grumgully there for those who don't know, but
get the Snoop.
And because the Vial is on 2, this kind of creates a pseudo hasted Snoop.
Next turn,
yeah, as it's at its most difficult to interact with being snuck in with the Vial, that Blake needs interaction basically right there and then.
Deluge, not...
Right, and this is specifically plays around Deluge, right? Something at sorcery speed for Blake won't stop the instant speed of the Vial.
I love Jack's thinking face.
He's such a good looking thinker.
Yeah.
Matron being thrown in front of the random 2/2. Why did they make this Oculus a 5/5 flyer? I do not know, but it crashes in for damage against Jack. Vials and a Snoop. Shows a Harbinger on top. Jack, you gotta stop doing this to people. Now, if Jack has an arena in hand, he could still put a Snoop into play from hand and Violent a Harbinger and go off this turn, but that requires 2 cards to be in hand, being Arena and Snoop.
We have Ringleader, Mountain.
Oh, the Goblin Ringleader?
The Goblin Ringleader.
I'm gonna get my Ringleader signed by Jack.
Yeah, I think Jack should sign his own Ringleaders.
He casts with the Cavern of Souls.
Yeah, you can't turn Colding that.
I think you can try. Yeah. And Goblin Ringleader hits. There's the arena that Jack needed, but getting a Matron and a Sling Gang, sending Arena and Leyline to the bottom, revealing the Leyline tech if we go to game number 3.
Ooh, okay, so Jack's pretty well set up here to Violin a Matron and have Snoop.
Get Snoop go wild next turn.
Yep.
Force Blake to Havert turn after turn after turn.
Turn after turn after turn.
Turn after turn after turn after turn.
Well, the Arena Glory got milled.
Yes, but this, you're right, because Vial can't be 3 or less. It has to be 3.
Right, it has to be 3. So we only get the Matron in play. And Sling Gang is 4?
Sling Gang is 4.
Yeah, okay.
Typically does not get cast a lot, but Jack put multiple copies in his deck so that he could actually draw more of them because they're really good in the value plan. Spoilers for a backup feature. I saw them leaving in the background. Turns out Belcher a little faster than Goblins. We're so sorry. We thought the match was going to be slow, but only one side of it was.
We've got another Fatal Push. That's a good place to be in.
Oh, old 2-push Blake over here.
The old 2-push.
The old Blakey 2-push. As Goblin Matron.
Yep.
All right.
Battlefield. Jumping onto the bus.
Yes. Goblin Matron here to tutor and then block a 2/2.
Yeah, and the Ringleader trades.
Yes. It drew 2 cards and gets a trade with a face down card, as long as one's not like a sneaky additional Oculus that flips up. Oof.
I feel like you would do that before combat, just to make sure that you had a flyer.
Yes. You could technically wait until the priority after declare attackers.
Oh, sure.
But who knows?
I guess, yeah, you could be like, okay, go use your vial before blockers, flip out my Oculus.
Because Jack needs to do something before blockers if he wants to do something.
Oh, munitions expert.
Yeah, I was wondering about the expert. I felt it was hard to get to 5 goblins, but actually what Jack can do on his next turn is Vial to 4, Violent Sling Gang, go up to 4 goblins, munitions expert for 5, shoot the Oculus. But instead it looks like he's blocking.
Surely we're not going to Fatal Push here.
The hard part is, you're just blocking random manifest, but is the one that you're expecting to trade with one that Blake can flip?
Wait a minute.
Wait a minute. Hold up, wait a minute.
Wait.
Wait. Oh, just kidding. Just kidding.
Just kidding.
More value. This one's untapped.
Okay, that's actually
saves 2 mana. So I was joking that Jack could accidentally block the wrong creature. We did in fact block and trade with the wrong one.
We blocked and traded with the wrong one. That's sick.
Blake saying no thanks to a spell snare. Face down. Both these Oculus manifesting now.
Yeah, this is gonna be a somewhat difficult position for Jack to navigate, given that we know the contents of Jack's hand.
Yeah.
We know that there's 10 power flyers coming in.
And Jack has significantly less goblins in play right now for the expert.
I mean, we can drain with the Sling Gang, so we're not.
We
are not just dead. But gosh, it's not looking good.
I don't know what thought just passed through my head, but Jack played the Arid Mesa, and my brain created a red Dryad Arbor that obviously doesn't exist. And I was like, oh, sick, we can go get it, which is not something that's true even a little.
I think there is an unknown card that's a Goblin Mountain.
Yes. Yes, there is.
Or maybe it's a playtest card from Mystery.
It's 100% a playtest card, and I believe it is in fact Goblin Mountain.
Yeah.
And here's the Harbinger out of Jack, not using the Cavern.
Yep, because we want to get
Mm.
Hordemaster. We're not getting Hordemaster, right? Oh, and there's another Sling Gang.
It's interesting, right? Because Jack has the Violon 4, but the hard part is these big flyers. So Jack can solve a lot of problems, but the issue is there's still two big ones in the air.
I guess you're like, okay, block your manifests and then drain you.
But he
So we're
can.
buying time.
Yes, if Jack wants to activate Vial, put in Sling Gang, block with his 3 goblins, sacrifices 3 goblins. He goes to 11, takes 5, lives at exactly 1. An opponent that does not interact, you do survive here.
Yeah.
Oh, Blake thinking about all. Whoop, just thinking it, running it back. Ooh. What one was an Oculus again?
One of them was an Oculus again.
If you flip it up and jam, I think you're clear.
Yeah.
Blip. Rumble. Jack with the head nod, but the hard part is these dang things fly. These dang things fly.
So Sling Gang gets in.
Because Jack now has 4 goblins, so he can sacrifice 4 and go up to 12. Oh, right, we can just cast the expert. That's at 5, so that shoots one of these.
So.
And then Jack can throw 5 goblins worth to be at 13 at max, taking damage from 2 Oculuses. If Jack wants to survive, he sure can try. Looks like instead, making sure that Blake understands everything that's going on, dialing it back just a second, responding to the slinging ETB trigger, making sure there's far less goblins. He already knew about the munitions expert, so nothing weird. Just taking a moment to think and taking care of what's happening there, allowing these players to go to a game number 3, Goblins versus Demir Frog. And Jack did reveal there's Leyline of the Voids hiding in his deck somewhere. That I imagine those make things a little bit harder for Blake's engine of Frog, Murktide, Oculus.
Oculus is pretty bad against Leyline.
It's impossible, right?
It is impossible. So you really want to bring that Brazen Borrower in.
Oh, yeah.
So if Brazen Borrower is not in the 60, you definitely want to bring it in for game 3 after seeing the ley lines.
Yes, love a Brazen Borrower. If you have a problem, we have an answer sort of situation. So these players getting their sideboard action on here going into this important game number 3. We can see some of those sneaky green cards from Jack. Looks like they might have been sideboarded out. I see them. Hi, boys. Oh, yeah. A lot of goodies there in that sideboard.
What was it?
It was Ignoble Hierarch, but I believe taken out against this Bowmasters matchup.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Additionally, I saw Jack with my, I'll call it number 1 favorite sideboard card right now in Rakdos Charm.
Rakdos Charm is great.
Good against Mox Opal, good against Faceless Looting, and good against Twin. I was like, hey, if you just want to beat up people playing the new toys, this is the best option to do it all in one package.
It does everything.
It literally, it specifically has a line of text for one of each of the unbanned cards, and is even good against the Green Sun Zenith decks because they're either graveyard combos in Samwise or have a pretty good artifact in the form of Amulet of Vigor.
I think this is our first match.
Non-mirror.
Non-mirror. I can't think of anything that's even similar.
Oh, come on.
Unearth and Aether Vial.
Now I do think there is a version of Jack's deck that could play Unearth. Even like sneakily maybe in the sideboard as an answer to these like highly interactive kill spell decks.
Do you remember the Unearth deck that played Lightning Skelemental?
Yes, I love that deck.
That was a great one.
Because it also plays Thunderkin Awakener, which gets to be your Unearth every turn for your Elemental. And I thought about playing that deck in Standard, quote unquote, because you have Recommissioned Ball Lightning in Standard, which I really want to do. There's also Call a Surprise Witness, which is recommission that gives flying instead of +1/+1, so you can throw flying ball lightnings at people.
That's really sweet.
Yes, that is a big arena grind F&M kind of deck, but not one that I'm willing to like drop the 50 bones to try to play at an RCQ kind of deck.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But it would be very funny to just lightning ball people at your RCQs. And Jack again with the cracked opening against Demir of Cavern of Souls into Aether Vial. But no ley line,
No ley line.
which means dead draws aplenty in the deck.
Though we got what do you call it? We got the Matron, we got the Harbinger.
Yeah, Jack's already assembling a decent amount of the combo pieces in hand. Harbinger, Snoop, Matron. All right. Third land in hand rolled up as well.
So he's representing turn 4?
He's representing turn 4 using the Vial to sneak in a hard interact with Snoop. Blake here with the Undercity Sewers. I mean, looking to put an eyeball in the yard. But the question is, will he? Is he?
Is it even good enough?
I mean,
It's always good. It's always good to have an
I
eyeball in the
mean,
yard. We got nope, not a snap, not a snap.
oh, but it is get that island out of here.
Get him out of here.
Big rips. Okay, it's not like what happened last time of doing the big mill and then drawing the Oculus. It's just more lands.
So we got a counter spell, a Stern Scolding, not doing a whole lot. We do have a Fatal Push, interact with Snoop, which is good, and then a bunch of lands and a frog.
Yeah, if you're Blake, I think this is the frog turn. You can be a little scared, but I don't think you're gonna die.
Yeah, and your counter spells aren't doing anything. So.
Yes, and this allows I refer to this a lot. The protect the queen style strategy. Many Magic players know it as Delver, right? That this allows Blake to take this turn to get his queen, his important creature, into play, and then spend the rest of the game interacting. And if anything happens to this queen, well, I guess he'll just find a new one.
There's always another queen. You got to move.
That's
your pawn.
yeah, that's what chess has always taught me.
You just move your pawn all the way across the board.
Yeah.
And suddenly you have a 10-10 or a 10-11 psychic frog.
Yeah, but unfortunately you can't even wear jeans at chess tournaments anymore. So what's the point?
Well, and you can only wear jeans at Magic tournaments. That's
Yeah, I mean, where else are you gonna wear your jeans? Come to your Magic tournaments.
yeah, that's in the MTR actually. I'm pretty sure.
Only jeans.
Yeah.
Jack here getting the third land, playing out this Matron, using the Cavern of Souls with a Vial on 2, approaching maybe a little bit of an oopsie whoopsie, trying to take down Blake here. But Jack looking at a Warren Instigator. Uh-oh. Maybe switching plans, leave the Vial on 2, sneak in the Instigator this turn, and sneak in the Snoop next turn.
Oh, interesting.
A lot of options.
No, we're just going.
Yeah. Now, what I do love is so far each time Jack has used a Matron, it's been to find a Snoop when he already has one. So he's showing it to his opponent while also having a backup lined up.
Oh, I didn't even know he had the backup.
Yeah. He's done this both times now. So this means he can sneak in the one Blake knows about without having to reveal the secret information of having the second one.
Sneaky.
As sneaky.
Not very conspicuous at all.
Yeah, not
Very inconspicuous is what that is.
Blake a little in the tank here. Shocking in for this watery grave. You know, you have to think about one of the hard parts about this Demir deck is how much the graveyard is a resource. So Blake kind of wants to jump this frog, but also needs to leave those 3 cards behind for things like Murktide and Oculus.
Jack has his blocking fingers.
Just ready to hit the button on the Matron. Because, you know, this indicates that your opponent is not gaining life. And I think Blake wants to put some lands into this frog, so. Yep. The counterspells and lands can go.
I'm going to spend one more. No, okay.
Yeah, I wonder how fast Blake could have made the clock here, right? If your opponent was at 18, maybe a frog on 3, that accelerates your clock by a whole turn. And there's the arena on top. Uh-oh. Blake's going to walk right into this. So this is going to deal with this Snoop. Blake does not know about the second one, and the second one's going to get arenaed.
But the second one's going to get arenaed, and the thing is going to tick up to 3. Oh, no.
So Jack's good. You can let this go to arena. They go to 3. Jack can use the Arena of Glory mana and then a Cavern and float an arena and make sure that the Snoop is uncounterable and hasted if you wanted.
Oh, we're being very careful here. So we're going to go get a backup for our Harbinger also?
Jack has seen 2 pushes so far.
We've seen 2 pushes. Now we're going to get a Ringleader.
Jack's going to grab the value play. Is in no rush, right? Blake does not have a clock going, so Jack can start generating a battlefield. Does not use the arena because the ringleader has haste already.
That's true.
It just has haste. It's just a 2/2 haste.
Just a 2/2 with haste for 4 even.
Ringleader trigger maybe? There it is. Squee, sling. Getting a squee and a sling. This squee, if you remember Goblin Rabblemaster, may I introduce you to Rabblemaster with Escape. That's squee.
Oh yeah, he makes a 1/1 every turn.
He sure does. He attacks and makes a 1/1 each go around and then has Escape for 3 in a red. It has tons of words, but it has Escape.
Yeah.
It says, like, you can pay 3 in a red and exile X amount of cards. It is Escape.
Yeah, pressure the life total here.
And Jack leaving back the matron that he played this turn, because that one ain't got haste.
Will be casting? Oh, consider. Okay.
Using all the information. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Wee-oo, ding, ding.
I don't think we have an unearth for that yet, though. But
Oh,
we'll consider once again.
Consider, find another one if you're Blake. Put it back down. Get that island out of here.
Ooh, another land.
Yeah, Blake's finding a lot of those.
Blake's interaction being lands and counter spells.
Yeah, not...
Great. Oh, and we have another Oculus in hand.
When Blake did draw this Bowmaster, which, as we saw before, does allow a end point to break up the combo, but if Jack cranks the vial up to 4, he can actually vial in a sling gang if Blake tries to stop him, so he might have almost all of these points of interaction stop gated at this point.
Yeah, being able to protect yourself against basically every kind of interaction is kind of nuts.
Yes.
Though, I guess if we were looking to Harbinger and Arena, we can't tick the vial up to 4. We need to keep the vial on 3 for the Harbinger.
Yes.
So
just draw a land.
Yeah, there you go.
Blake discarding another counterspell here into the frog. Yeah. I wonder if... Oh no, because the cards Jack are off this ringleader. I'm wondering if there was a thought to matron for the Bogart to have a land that you can tutor for with your goblin matron.
Oof, Druids, another Oculus.
Okay, Blake's hand getting chunky. Upkeep for Jack, thinking about this vial. Leaving it on 3.
Leaving it on 3.
Hatchlick Mons on top. That's the Blood Artist for goblins.
Bashlik Mons is also a 3-drop, or he's a 4-drop?
Also a 3, I believe. Now the very, very important piece here is we know that Jack can cast his combo cards, but depending on where Blake decides to interact is going to be the hard spot. But also, does Blake have interact?
Yeah, I mean, we certainly, with the God's Eye view, know that he doesn't.
Jack went for it last time.
He did. He went for it last time, but now he's in a game 3 situation.
Yes.
You know,
Blake does have Bowmasters.
Oh, he has Bowmaster.
And Bowmaster is going to stop the chain all the way at the end. And that's how we got Blake last time, is Blake interacted and we responded to him interacting.
Oh, are we...
Jack's waiting. Jack's being so patient. Bowmaster, sure.
Yep.
It's just because Jack's going to throw one less goblin this way.
Oh, no.
This is going to deal damage now.
How much damage is that?
Yeah, each goblin kind of equals 2 damage now.
That's lethal.
Oh. Okay, great.
That's 14, right?
And then he can also throw the damage at the Bowmaster itself with the Patchlick Mons. Sling Gang down, but it's creatures in. Jack goes to combat with all the creatures that can, these beautiful 4.
Okay, so he shot down Patchlick Mons in response to... Or he shot down the Sling Gang in response to the tokens.
Yep.
The Patchlick Mons took down the Bowmaster and his friend.
Yes.
But we still have a ton of Goblin power in play right now.
Right, and Jack at 14, not worried about Blake like discarding his whole hand into this. So.
patience here to not just go for the combo and play like a really, really value-oriented game is really impressive. The restraint shown here is really, really cool.
A big part of I think the shift in Jack's mindset is a few months ago I talked with him about treating this deck like Yawgmoth, of just play your idiots, play your dorks, do your thing, and then when you see like the window open, go for it. And that's what Jack's doing this game. Just we have a pile of 1-1s and 2-2s and 2-1s, but they're nickel and diming like old school aristocrat style this game.
Right.
And if Blake makes a wrong move, Jack's selling in a combo kill.
Yeah, Unearth doesn't save us from the tide here.
How about a second Unearth?
Well, I guess at this point you can make 2 Oculuses and have a bunch of blocks and stuff. Though, okay, so this is not related to this game at all. Somebody in the chat asked, trick question for me, who wins in a fist fight, Goblin or Merfolk? In a fist fight, Goblins win because they have fists.
Yeah, what about a fin fight?
But it's a fin fight, right? Because Merfolk has fins, not fists.
Yeah, obviously.
Obviously. So, fist fight, Goblins. Fin fight, Merfolk.
And I think Goblins don't have fists, they have grubby little mitts.
Well, there's, I think there is a card, Fists of the Iron, or Fist of the Anvil, or something, and it's a goblin with 2 big fists.
Well, all right, confirmed. Goblins have big fists.
Yeah, they got big fists.
And obviously, Merfolk got fins.
Yeah.
Easy.
Easy.
So, based on that nomenclature, a fist fight, Goblins.
I think, I'm trying to remember between Jack and I, who has a positive record, I think we're like 50-50.
That sounds about right.
We can't even use that as a tiebreaker here.
Yeah, we can't even use the local dual deck of May versus Jack. And Blake trying to piece it back together. Use that Unearth, has this Oculus. Lands and counterspell.
I suppose it's too late now, but is there a world where you unearth the Bowmaster?
Oh.
For bonus blockers? And you're taking down Pashlik's a 2/2 probably.
And then casting the Oculus out of hand.
And then casting Oculus out of hand, yeah.
Because you can even use casting of your Unearth to get an extra card in the yard. But Blake here drawing Fatal Push off the Frog.
That's good.
But Jack's plan's been altered, right? Jack, there's going to be 2 blockers, but because of the Patchwork Mons is in play, each creature Blake blocks will still do 1 damage to him.
Right. So currently Blake is living at 1.
At 1, he's going to block the 2 power creatures, get hit for 4, and have those 2 goblins thrown at him when they block. And the question is Jack can also...
Oh, he can Arena of Glory and...
He can Arena of Glory something, he can Aether Vial something, and he can use his actual mana to activate Patchlick Mons to sack a goblin, make 2 goblins.
Oh, yeah.
So the use of just actually using his mana alongside this Bogart.
Harbinger coming in.
Jack, are you doing this in upkeep? I would love if you're doing this in upkeep. And guaranteeing that this Sling Gang is the card that he draws per turn. I would really love that.
Looks like that's exactly what he's doing.
My man. Dude, he's getting so good at playing this deck. Sling Gang, here we go. Yeah, he's going to kill his Dimir opponent with his 2 combo cards in hand still.
Yeah. So he has the combo in his hand, and he's going to kill
That's
his
right.
Dimir opponent. That's...
Technically, he just used the Bogart, but like...
I guess he used the Bogart.
The combo's hanging out. He just doesn't need it.
He's had the combo for turns and turns and turns, and he's just like, no, I'm exploring alternative pathways here.
Folks, if you like goblins, go follow our boy here at Goblin Ringleader. You saw the card in play. It's like what did half of the work here. He plays goblins like every single day, and I would love for his YouTube channel to grow. So give him a shout if you can.
So this is an insane amount.
Yeah, this is big damage, big dubs. That's the handshake. Jack at Goblin Ringleader taking it down 2-1 against the most interactive deck in the format in this Dimir Frog deck. Just could not quite keep up the perfect start of Cavern and Vial, and it'll get it done every time. With all that, go ahead.
I think even if Blake was at 20, he was dead there. That's insane.
Yes.
That's nuts.
Jack getting kind of that double Blood Artist effect of getting a Sling Gang and the Patchlick Mons allows all those goblins to equal 2 points of damage, and a lot of work can be done there. I mean, what a match. Again, we don't have that backup feature. We accidentally put Belcher on the backup. We didn't even know, folks, but we know now. With all of that being said, If you want to chat with any of the local players here at NRG, you can go to this Nerd Rage Gaming Discord, or if you want to talk to players for the Championship Series, those NRG Champs events happening all around the Chicagoland Midwestern area, you can use these Discords and chat with those fellow players. Very importantly, and that event coming up February 1st and 2nd, Sunday is a team event, as well as the Sunday in June is also a team event. If you find yourself to be a format specialist and you're on the hunt for other teammates, that's sometimes a great spot to reach out. Say, hey, I feel really comfortable playing Standard. I'm looking for fellow players, like-minded players. Now's a great time to start looking for a team. So you've got a few weeks to prepare, get to know each other, vibe, whatever it could be. The Discord is a great spot to reach out. Again, the February 1st and the 2nd event, that's in the Chicagoland area here in Elmhurst. The Saturday showdown, that's going to be Modern. And then the Sunday team event, Standard, Modern, and Legacy. Additional events in Madison in the beautiful month of March. In May, we're heading back to the Chicagoland area. And June, I mean, we got to pay it back to NRG Taylor Swift when we had to move, so we can head on down to Indianapolis. We swear there won't be a groundbreaking, earth-shattering concert there this time.
You swear.
I swear by it. With all that being said, thank you all so much for joining us for round number 3. Please do not go anywhere. We'll catch you all real quick for round number 4. Bye. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the final round here of the Wednesday Night Modern, brought to you by Nerd Rage Gaming here at the home store in beautiful Buffalo Grove, Illinois. I'm Dom Stryker alongside May.
That's me.
You've seen both of these players battling earlier this day, but they are one of the two undefeated matches battling it out here for the crown. I believe the count for the first Modern event of the year, Nerd Rage Gaming 2025 post-van, of 33 Modern players out there tonight.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. We're not even playing the league, y'all. Everyone's just out here hanging, excited to jam and excited to play Magic. Jack with his number one start of turn one Vial, and same for David with his turn one Tamio.
And they both bolted each other, or both of themselves, I should say.
Yeah, they did.
They bolted each other with their own lands. Could you imagine?
Yeah, the classic Sheldon, you did this to yourself. Oh, we got to figure out a place to put this. Whoop, we're squeezing it.
Nope.
No, that space is dead. Much appreciated, these gentlemen finding out the perfect spot for us to make sure that we can play along with you, to make sure everything is exactamundo. And also big shouts to, they both moved where their deck was, which I know can be the most uncomfortable thing if you're a Magic player. We're so stuck on our ways of where our deck is that who knows, it could rattle these 3-0 gamers. Absolute devastation here.
Yeah, you know, it's 9:30 at night. The mental is not what it used to be. It's an exhausting 4-round Modern event. You talk about training people's endurance for long Magic events, right?
Mm-hmm,
I don't think F&M is what they're talking about.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
If this event wasn't like a 4-round capped and we have to play as many for the player count.
Yeah, 33. So 6 rounds. Cut to top 8.
Cut to top 8. Yeah, you get the cut to top 8 in there as well. While these Jackson tapping here for his turn number 2.
Didn't you win an RCQ?
Yes.
Didn't you win an RCQ that started at like 6 p.m.?
Ouch, honey. It started at 10 p.m.
What? Are you kidding me?
And my finals victory ended at 5:30 a.m. And I was home at 6:30 a.m. delirious and with an invite in my backpack.
Oh, I guess the Tarn probably is in the graveyard. It's floating in its own zone, own separate graveyard.
That's the Tarn Yard. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Tarn Yard, but that's where the Scalding Tarn hangs out.
Yeah. Tarn Yard shenanigans.
Real quick here, Jack responding to the Emery, vialing in an Iggy, and then actually casting Munitions Expert, looking to deal 2 damage to this Emery before the mills happen.
That's pretty good.
Pretty good. And I'm wondering the purpose of doing it now, but I'm not mad at it.
Why not?
Yeah, why not? And here's 3 mana sink into stupor.
Oh yeah, sink the Noble Hierarch. Enjoy 1 damage on Emery.
Does 1 damage, sure. In this way, David's also not returning an impactful spell to Jack's hand, allowing him to re-Munitions Expert. Instead, just saying, here, take your Mana Dork back. And let's talk about game objects, as David is like, you know, belching them out for lack of our other undefeated players, but just putting so many permanents into play.
I like that Jack kept the Vial on 1 for his 1-drop. He's like, you know what? No.
Oh,
we don't have green mana.
Right, so it's for the, I think there's 2 more Ignoble Hierarchs in hand. So Jack's got to get them into play somehow. But the scary part is David is moments away from assembling combo. Only 1 card in hand, but it could easily pair up with the second one and create a combo kill. But here's the Bogart Trawler, and uh-oh, what's that? Main deck ETB Graveyard Hate? Oh, don't mind if I do.
And now we're attacking for 2? Jeez.
Wow, just the insult, the attack for 2. As Tamio and this 1-2 just couldn't stand up to the 2-2. And now David goes a rumbling. Quick refill here. On the hunt for a breach. Well,
there it is.
Jack, I have bad news. The other card in hand, I'm pretty sure, is Grinding Station. That's the 1. That's the 2. That's the Grinding Station. And the other card that you just saw your opponent pick up. A little bit of grind. And this is important. The Grinding Station triggers itself. So David gets an untap out of that. And then there's 2 for the Mox and the Breach. And here we go. It's comboing time.
Yep. So now we just spin through the deck. Mill
Jack's
free.
going to learn the kill condition, right? This is the first
Yep.
time Jack's playing against David today. So Jack understands what's happening and wants to make sure how it's actually going to end properly. And ignore our overlay. This is, I believe, game 1. So neither of these players have picked up any wins yet, but I think one is on their way. So David allowed to loop these Mox Opals here. Again, floating any color that he wishes, but floating these reds because we know that he's going to start grape shotting ASAP. The dexterity gets just a smidgen weird when Grinding Station has already untapped itself to one of its triggers. It's just like sometimes odd if it's tapped or untapped, but to put things pretty easily here, the Grinding Station says when an artifact comes into play, it untaps itself. So that's what's allowing David to grind through these opals over and over and over and over. And don't think I didn't notice one red die and one blue die that David brings with him for the clear mana floating purposes.
I appreciate that.
I did this. If you go on Amazon, you can find a giant bag of 150 dice. And in those 150, it has green, blue, and red. And then you can buy another 150 of only black and white. So I bought these 300 dice for like $12 on Amazon, and forever can accurately float mana now. Until the end of time, we can accurately showcase this mana. And David really, really, really having to grind through this deck.
I mean, that's it now, right? We can cast a grape shot and another grape shot.
Yep, shot.
Yep.
In the immortal words of some artist, shots. Everybody.
Little John?
Sure.
Oh, sorry, Lil John.
Which L is it? Sound off in chat if you know who wrote the song with only one word for lyrics.
It's Lil John.
It's Lil John.
Well, I don't know if he wrote it, but he's the guy who says shot.
Whomst is the man who says shots. Well, here today for us, it's David Gorola taking down game number 1, throwing all of the grape shots at Jack, allowing him to take down game number 1. This is Jack's Goblin 75. So if you are a Goblin fan at home, this is the list. Take a look, take a peek. This is the full, 75. Sideboard options: 3 Meltdown, 2 Rakdos Charm, 3 Chalice of the Void, 3 Damping Spear, and 4 Leyline of the Void. I would like to present a full 15 worth of options for this matchup.
You really could just bring in the entire sideboard, right?
And then it would no longer be Rakdos Goblin, it would be Rakdos Sideboard.
Rakdos, I like that. So Rakdos sideboard, what do you leave in? You
The combo, right?
You leave in your combo and Aether Vials, and everything else comes out.
Okay, Jack can cut Iggy's.
Oh, he's cutting Warren Instigator.
And Warren Instigator.
Yep.
At a minimum, that's 5 cards because I am starting with these 3 chalices because a chalice on 0 is really, really hard for David's deck to do anything. And then I think moving to second most important being Damping Sphere, as the deck can't combo with a Damping Sphere in play. I think that David has the resources to work around a Meltdown because he's breaching the cards back out, so he kind of has the option for if they're in his graveyard, he still has access. Rakdos Charm, though, as being a shatter and a graveyard piece of interaction, has text here, and we know Jack loves a Leyline. So it's really a choose-your-own-adventure of which of these 15 cards Jack brings in. I can imagine shaving the fluff, right? Removing Squee, removing Patchlick Mons, removing the Matrons, removing the Iggies. And
Chain Whirler is also in here?
Yeah, that one can also go. That's for beating energy.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Chain Whirler eats a lot of cats.
Yep.
So if it's 3 for Iggy, 4 for the Chain Whirler, 5 for Patchlick Mons, 6 for Squee.
7, 8 for the Warren Instigators.
7, 8 for the Instigators. Give me the
9.
Chalice, the Damning Spheres, and the Charms.
Wait, 9 for the Sting Scourger?
9 for the Sting Scourger.
Wait.
Plop in a Leyline.
Yeah, we're really close to Rakdos sideboard here.
And remember,
bring
on
in
top
one
of
of each.
No. And then remember on top of all of this, the 2 main deck Bogart Trawlers are also graveyard hate. So Jack's draw is going to be very dependent here on how much power
Okay,
it can output.
He left in the Instigators, but he brought in the Leyline.
This is a 2-lander with a Leyline and a Trash Master. Doth thou know the Trash Master?
Sacrifice a goblin, destroy an artifact.
That's right.
And also it's a lord.
That's right.
Yeah.
So
It's a 3/3. The cost 4.
sure is. So he's going to come out. He's going to throw trash all over the ring.
Yeah, we call it the Frank Reynolds maneuver.
Yes. Leyline of the Void has entered play here for
I'm the
Jack.
trash man.
And the perfect surveil, allowing him to get this Leyline the heck out of the deck and mill it over for turn number 1. Now, answers for David's deck. The 1 Haywire Mite,
Yep, Haywire Mite.
and then
Construct tokens.
yep, and then the plan is the other plan. Interesting. So the construct tokens are a part that did not factor into the sideboarding of Meltdown.
For Meltdown, yeah.
Yeah, interesting. Jack easily could have full 15'd. I just don't know where to find space.
We found 9.
Yes. Yeah, we found 9. And I don't even play goblins. But the Instigator's still in, so we found the wrong 9.
I guess we I'll be honest, I've never played goblins.
I'll be honest, I've played it in casual games between rounds because this is kind of my jam. And Jack's love of it is infectious. So you're like, well, let me try.
I take that back. I guess I did used to play 8-Whack, which is a goblins deck.
I can't believe you spoke to us this way.
Very unlike the current iteration of goblins.
Yes. And on top of everything else, I don't know anybody else playing this deck. Like, if I did not personally know Jack, I don't know if I would have a clue what was going on with this deck.
A friend of mine back home in Maine, Emma, plays this deck.
Big shouts to Emma.
Emma and Jack.
Yeah, Jack is at Goblin Ringleader. Y'all should connect up, talk Goblin Tech, because I want this deck to terrify Murktide players everywhere.
It is terrifying to Murktide players.
Confirm. Love
Yep.
it. Warren Instigators here with the little squigglies on it. Just kidding. That's a signature. And David here getting ready to locked and loaded for turn number 2. Remember, Leyline of the Void.
So I think we're looking at this Warren Instigator connecting, probably.
Is that your bird's eye view of David's hand? Is it coming in?
So I see this.
Uh-oh. Those are just game objects, no blockers.
No blockers. We can get an Emery in play here.
Oh, this does unlock red mana for David. So if he has red interaction, the
okay.
box opal unlocks it.
Nope.
But this
it's
confirms Nunzo. Blocker.
blocker.
Found it.
Damn.
And a Saga if David is locked in on the Saga plan. Other option, I believe, was a Mishra's Bauble and a secret 4th card that we'll all learn of soon. And a Tarn.
Tarn, Bobble,
Saga Sync. So
Think. Yeah.
I'm pretty interested in the Saga because I think David has one plan. With this Leyline in play and no answer in sight.
Yeah.
Just
I mean,
kidding.
We'll eventually get
Whoop.
a Haywire Mite potentially, but I think just pile of construct tokens is going to
Yes.
be a pretty viable strategy here.
I guess, I mean, you are right that the Saga in play will be a Haywire Mite in exactly 2 turns from now.
Right.
That David's plan could be set up, survive, kill. The hard part is that the graveyard is currently being eaten with each game action being taken.
Yeah, so you kind of have to decide how much of your graveyard you're spending beforehand. Yeah,
Yep.
so goodbye construct, or
And this is
goodbye
important.
Eldrazi.
That Warren Instigator gets to act as a Stone Rain, right? Of just eating that Eldrazi token. Here's the Goblin Matron. Big tutor action here for Jack.
Well, we get to see what he bring in. Oh, it's
Well, I feel like he would have tutored for the Trash Man, but he just already has it. And I believe I
Alright,
saw the Chalice.
Chalice came in.
Yeah. The Slingy. Oh, Slingy. Oh. Going back. Coming back. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's poked up a little now. There's the Ringleader. Oh. Oh, slinging went up, slinging down. I do the same thing too, just the gentle slide is your decision. The Rakdos Charms also came in. Yes, Jack, yes. How much of the sideboard's in here?
Oh,
And,
David has a breach in his hand.
well, 2 turns from now, that could spell doom. But there's that second Saga.
Yep, we're going on the Saga plan.
This is hard because a Saga on 1 and a Saga on 2 will technically net you 1 less construct because using one of these for mana for the other one means it's not making a construct on its level 2 mode. But I don't think that's David's concern, as we're kind of in survival mode until the next turn for David.
David also has Station in his hand. So he combo is in hand. So I think we're just waiting to get rid of the ley line.
Important piece that when Haywire Might sacrifices to eat the ley line, it sacrifices a cost, so it'll be in exile.
Oh,
So
here
the
comes.
hard part is David needs to fuel up the graveyard.
Here's Trash Man.
Yeah.
So Warren Instigator is going to connect here, most likely, because
And Jack put Sling Gang in the hand, right? So he'd be able to cheat Sling Gang and something else into play, but presumably
yep. So make a token, get it eaten by the matron.
here comes the whole hand.
Here comes.
Oh, Goblin Ringleader for the first trigger. If it finds something, can sneak that for the second trigger.
Yeah, insane.
Okay. Wow. Cool. Okay.
Wow,
Cool.
wow,
Okay.
wow, wow,
Cool. Okay.
based.
Cool. Wow. Based. And then Goblin Matron that was just found.
Also coming in for 4. That's
Just
not
actual damage.
just
Right.
4 actual damage.
And then this Matron eats the Mox Opal into exile. This being a hateful game out of this Goblins deck. But I think that's what Jack needs to put together to beat this incredible combo deck out of the Team of Breach deck. But here comes the bug.
Yep. So the bug is going to free the
Graveyard.
graveyard, but it's a little too late. I say,
Yeah.
but
David has this Springleaf drum, so the bug can pay for itself through the drum. David will have. Oh no. Not like this. Not like this.
oh no.
I believe I found where the Haywire Might is.
Yeah, it looks like the Haywire might be in the sideboard.
Needle name Snoop. Needle name
Trash Master.
Needle name Trash Master.
No, Sling Gang.
Needle name Sling Gang.
Yep.
It is Needle.
Needle.
Oh, we boy.
It sucks because like you have to name Trash Master.
I think so. Does everyone know the Ross Merriam clip when he goes searching through his deck and realizes the cards in the sideboard? No?
No, I don't know that one.
It's one of those like when SCG used to do SCG best of clips. But for whatever reason they just put one in to just roast Ross over and over and over again.
I like that.
And it's him resolving a green sun zenith, I believe in Maverick, to find exactly his one of reclamation stage to like destroy something to win the game. And he searches through his deck, and then does the like eyes wide thing as he checks his sideboard and creates like the perfect like memeable picture moment that goes through my mind every time that a card that I need is a card in my sideboard. And
what?
Well, the part that I think hurts the most is I think the Haywire Might started in the main and got boarded out, as opposed to in the side, stay in the side. I think it moved and then was greatly needed here.
So here comes Sling Gang.
The onslaught.
Here comes attacks. Make a blocker.
And remember, the Trash Master is also a lord, so it's giving additional power. And the construct David makes here is going to be sent to the trash.
Yep, which trades with the Trash Master. No, actually, it survives the Trash Master because the Trash Master was only doing is a 2/2 and the Golem is a 5/5.
But I'm wondering why we didn't sack a Goblin to shatter the construct.
Because of Pithing Needle.
It's on the Trash Man. There was no note.
We don't know.
Forgot. Yeah.
I assume it's on the Trash Man because otherwise
we would have shot the constructs.
We would have shot the constructs.
So David taking down the Warren Instigator, kind of removing the value train for Jack. But 8 points of life for David is not a lot of points of life.
Not a lot of points for life, and he's spending his turn making a construct.
Oh, he really needs to get this Shadow Spear on here, though, which he can do. He can use the Summoning Sick Construct in the Mox Opal to equip the Shadow Spear. Even easier now.
Yep.
Put that on the non-Summoning Sick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 points of lifelink damage. And I think David can't risk using it as a blocker. He just has to get in there.
Yep. So he goes up to 16. Flipping back over to Jack, we have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 17.
Ooh.
Doesn't even matter.
Uh-oh. Even
yeah.
with the construct blocker?
Oh, with the construct blocker. So take 3 away from that, so he has 15. Oh, 15, but he can play a goblin from his
He's got
hand.
goblins in hand. What are those goblins in hand doing there? Yeah, and one of them... he's got Bogart Snoop in hand. Classic Jack, just drawing the combo at the end of the line.
Yep. So Snoop, Chain Whirler still in the deck. All right.
And it deals 1 damage upstairs and puts a goblin in play.
It does.
So it represents 2 points of damage.
So yeah, you block 3, and you take 3,
And
5.
and the creature blocked gets thrown.
Right. So, but I'm counting 3, 5. Oh, sorry.
Construct
3,
on Trashmaster, right?
Yeah, construct on Trashmaster. 3 from Ringleader, plus 4 from tokens is 7, plus 3 from Sling Gang is 10, plus
Ooh.
5. Nope, it's 1 short.
Dang. And even if Jack had the land available, the Chain Whirl on top is triple red, and this flipped Bogart's going to stop us from casting it.
Oh nope, Jack's got it.
But
So
this gives him double red, but for the double red for the Bogart.
Now he's got exactly 16.
And he gets to reset the top, so he could give this Snoop a different activated ability, like the Skirk Prospector. Excuse me?
Oh, so that's something.
But I think he was just looking at what are my activated abilities, and maybe not I want this activated ability.
Right, exactly.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is exactly 16.
And
Which is nuts.
And I don't think there's access to like an additional Shatter Goblin, right? So the Trashmaster is his option, but he's starting to do the same math that May's done. I won't even try to do it. All right, I'm gonna start trying to do it as Jack's doing it here, because remember the Trashmaster is giving these creatures +1/+1. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
the finger tapping, the finger counting. Confirming numbers there, and he's moving quick now. On the hunt. He doesn't want any of those. I think he's going to put Kiki on top and say, if this goes poorly, I'll kill you next turn.
Yeah, I mean, that's totally fair to do.
Right? He put the whole combo in the back row, and he put the Dorcases in the front row.
Yeah, but he's got lethal on board. He attacks and swing out. I guess so. David could have heat.
Right, alongside his Springleaf Drum.
Alongside Springleaf Drum, but I still think. Oh, he says go.
Yep. Leave up the force. Know that the combo is unlocked. Now David has to be the one. Specifically with this Shadow Spear, is trampling damage. Very important piece of this puzzle for Jack. But Jack can throw a lot of the excess goblins in front of it to absorb as much damage as possible.
Yeah, but then he doesn't get to sacrifice them. I guess
he just combo kills an upkeep.
Yeah, he just he'll do that. Oh, and okay, David did have the heat.
Sheesh, good read. Construct for
I
David.
got too excited doing the combat math. I was like, oh, we got it. I'm making another construct.
Especially because the mana for David's hidden in the Springleaf Drum over there in the pile of artifacts.
Yeah, and I don't even know what's on top of the, what is the third artifact?
I believe it's an uncracked Mishra's Bauble from the very beginning of the game.
Oh, there's an uncracked Mishra's Bauble at the top.
I think because David just didn't want to put it into his graveyard. Here's
Fair
a
enough.
Spell Bomb. Spell Bomb on the Snoop breaks all of this up. Uh-oh, it's slipping. Be careful. David, huge, like we said, the construct plan as the juke here with this Leyline of Void being played the whole game. This is with the Haywire Might rotting in the sideboard, but look at these giant monsters battling in. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's a 9/9 lifelink trample and an 8/8 construct. I did my math wrong. It's even bigger.
Yeah, so it's
10 and a 9.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Yeah, and then the +1 for the Shadow Sphere makes
Yeah.
the trampling lifelinker a 10/10.
10-10.
And Jack can throw this Trashmaster away. It's it doing far less for him now.
Yeah, it doesn't really do anything.
Interestingly, Jack throwing the Harbinger away because the slinging already in play, he doesn't need to retutor once he begins the combo. And here is that heat.
Do we kill enough blockers to trample in?
Well, also killing the Trashmaster unlocks a lot of damage.
Oh, yeah. Killing the Trashmaster gets an extra 4 through and trample.
Which is, yeah, huge. I'm so intrigued.
So,
right? Wait, isn't that a 3/3?
That doesn't die. That doesn't die here.
Hey, wait a second. Hey, wait,
yeah, that's a 3. That's a 3/3. We're pretty sure. So we're just gonna investigate real quick. All right. So at the end,
surviving at 3 points of life is Jack. Snoop returned to hand with the Bell Bomb.
Yep. Stack of guys traded with the construct.
And then Jack draws the Kiki. Right? No longer sitting on top for creating a combo.
Okay. So life total now correct.
Yep, saying that the ringleader absorbed 1 point of damage because he was still there to block for that 1 point. Snoop. And after all that work, Jack plays out the Kiki. The Kiki could copy the Sling Gang, but one of these two constructs is going to be a life-linking trampling creature.
Yeah, and it's still going to be big enough.
Yes, because Jack doesn't get to do the tricks of like sacrificing a creature that blocked, because if it's blocking a trampling creature, then the tramples can continue over. So the life exchange is going to still be the same there. But Jack's option here is keeking the Sling Gang, just trying to put as much as he can into play.
Yep. So now we have 4, 5, 6, 7. We've got a 7/7.
So a 7/7 and an 8/8 lifelink trampler. So I think the goal here is just for all these Sling Gang creatures to shove themselves in front. But the Galvanic killing the Sling Gang, and David takes it down in this final game, putting it together with the scrappy draw, showing the unbelievable power of Urza Saga in the face of huge graveyard hate out of Leyline, keeping the Haywire Might hiding in the board, and it did not matter. David taking it down 2-0, being our undefeated player here at the return to Modern 2025 at the Nerd Rage Gaming Home Store right here in Buffalo Grove, Illinois. Big congrats to David. I got a couple of things that we're going to chat about. First and foremost, if you want these singles, you want to play into these sick decks you see, you want to play standard, go to RCQ Seasons, or attend the upcoming NRG Series events, and you need cards, head to nerdragegaming.com. Big fan of the wish list function. If there are cards that you want that are listed but not quite available just yet, put them on your wish list. You'll be notified right away when those cards become available, and you can purchase them to pick up at an event. You can come by and pick them up locally, or you can have them ready for you when you go to those NRG Series events, which we hope to see you at February 1st and the 2nd in the Chicagoland, Elmhurst area. Remember that Saturday event, Modern Showdown. That means that could qualify you for NRG Champs, the first event, first weekend of the year, and the Sunday team trial, Standard, Modern, Legacy. Get your homies, get your friends, get your fellow players coming out here and try to win that 10K team trial. Additional events in March taking place in Madison, Wisconsin. May, we're heading back to Chicagoland. And June, our triumphant return to Indianapolis, hoping that we don't get pushed out of town by the latest and the greatest. And if you want to play some lovely games, you can come on down to the Buffalo Grove, Illinois home store. Wednesdays, right here, this 6:30 Modern stream is live. Thursdays, they're also streaming Pokemon at 6:30. But if Magic's your jam, you can play some Elder Dragon Highlander. Friday, that Boomer Zoomer Legacy Standard and One Piece if you're feeling One Piece-ish.
Piratey.
Saturdays you can play Digimon that loops right back around to Monday Digimon with a little bit of splash of that EDH as well. And Tuesday, if you're a big fan of the other games, but just here to hang out for Magic, you can come by and play One Piece and Lorcana. With all that being said, thank you all so much for joining us. The lovely return to 2025. I swear it still feels like we're in magical Christmas land here on our brand new modern format. I've been Dom Stryker alongside May.
I've been May.
This has been May. This has been a lovely time. Thank you all so much. Have a good night. Bye.
Bye.
The energy at these events is it's really welcoming. You walk in, people know your name. Hey, how's it going? Long time no see.
Vendors, artists, a big tournament, side events.
The NRG Series events are free to enter. You can just walk through the door. The round starts. It's game time. You know, you're friends, but you're competitors.
The pressure's on, basically, from round one. You know you're going to be running into quality players.
They're friendly, but they're fierce.
It's a great circuit. It's a lot of fun to play.
I noticed the Witch King was here this time, which was a little bit scary because I put the One Ring in my deck. Really had to sort of glance behind my shoulder every time I cast the card to make sure he wasn't about to snatch it, or me.
The vendors here are great. Everyone behind the booth is always really welcoming. They always have a smile on their face.
The events are taking place all over the Midwest. You've got the prize wall now, you've got the command zone. Every single NRG is both a RCQ and a qualifier for their championship series at the end of the year, which is, I have to say, hands down, my favorite experience I've ever had playing Magic.
It's really just a great experience.
The NRG series is coming to a Midwest city near you.